UNFAMOUS PODKAST. It's your boy Sean, Mr. NJ Brick City.
This is John from Up in the Sky.
First 48.
Just Kia.
Joker. Kenny right away.
And we got your boy Unreal Fiction over there on the what's the name? Camera and all that. Yeah. And we're back another week. How's everybody's week, yo? Like, what's up? Any good news? Bad news? What's up?
Yeah, I got a lot of good news.
Lay it on me, champ.
I don't want to put it out there, but you know, I got a little second gig going.
That's what I'm talking about.
Trying to get this bread up. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just making positive steps.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, cake up, get your weight
You
up.
answer that gigolo ad?
About to be. Nah, I took that down.
Oh, okay.
That was it,
Not the feds. They say you was moving major weight.
Feeling that face. You don't feel that Vegas Magic Mike spot, man? Get them tickets on Groupon?
Yeah, it's an orgy.
So done.
Yo, that got wild. Son, no, Groupon.
Groupon is an orgy.
I'm not gonna lie, Groupon, yeah, that might be the
about the
move.
groups.
Jesus Christ. Still got energy? Alright, that's what's
He
up.
got groups on him.
Wow.
To get on.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, Terrell, you got anything?
Right along.
So, you know, had a good week. You know, me and Tabs had a good day today. Had a good week, and the music video for the release of Long Way should be coming out before Christmas, and you know.
And the artist are?
And the artist is Tybee 305 and Young Tiger, something like that. I don't know his name, but I know it's Tiger something. But shout out to them niggas, you know.
Shout out to y'all niggas, whoever y'all are.
Yeah. Like, shout out to those.
Oh yeah, I need to play that song for y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's a good song. Like when y'all hear it, you're gonna be like, oh damn.
Okay.
Play that at the end of the podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
Looking forward
I'll
to
go ahead and do that now.
Kid.
My week has been eventful. I had my first official year-end review at my job.
Really?
Doing
You
pretty
said
good.
urine?
Year.
Urine.
I just said
Yes.
urine. I'm like, what the fuck?
Year-end.
That you're in review. That's that piston.
Okay.
So yeah, it was really good. I'm definitely getting a bonus, but I'm trying to get a raise or a promotion, which would be huge because I haven't even been there a year yet. So
Let's go.
fingers crossed.
That's what's up.
So yeah, there was that. I actually got the opportunity to intellectually tell a guy off. I don't get to do that very often anymore, so that was exciting.
How does that work?
Well, we went on a date to get to know each other, and he made a comment.
About black women?
No, about intelligent women, and he was like, "This is why guys don't really like dating smart girls." That's what he said. Because sometimes y'all are just too smart for your own good. So I had to tear him up, down, left, right, inside out to let him know.
Y'all not gonna date no more?
Huh?
Y'all not gonna go on any more dates?
He would like to go on another one to apologize and make up for it. I told him I would let him know.
That means no.
Yo, he should have heard the vagina slam shit.
Yo, that's the first time I thought, like, yo, you ain't getting no geeks, dog.
But I didn't even, I was like, why
always
would you
say-
make that statement after the conversations that we've had? Like, I obviously value my intelligence. That where did you think that was going to get you? Like,
He thought that by trying to show that he was, I guess, smarter.
Was
That,
that a statement
you're gonna give
before
him
he
some
said that?
pussy.
Was it something said before
yeah,
he said
so
that?
yeah. I got you.
Okay.
So we met for drinks, right, and had some food, had a great conversation, great time. I left. At the end of that day, he was like, "Oh, well, you should swing back by my house. It's like a minute up the road." And I was like, "No, I'm good on that." So we've been texting back and forth, and he was like, "You know, you should come by the house." And I was like, "No, I don't really want to come by your house. Like, I don't want to do that." So he goes, so then he tried to set something up for like Sunday, and he was like, "Well, I just want to relax, so I figured you could probably come by and we could like chill and drink." And I was like, "No, again, I don't want to come to your house." And he was like, "Well, I don't understand. What's the big deal? Like, if you think I'm crazy, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Listen, it's a safety issue for me. Like, I'm a young woman. I don't have a gun. I don't have a taser. I don't have anything. So I'm not going to go into a strange man's house."
I don't know you.
Right, I don't know you. So I'm not going to go into a strange man's house for something to happen. And he was like, "Well, I take that personally, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't." You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like as a man, you have to understand, I couldn't overpower you as easily as you could overpower me. So I'm not going to put myself in that position. And he just really felt some type of way about that. And he made a comment about being able to discern who people are, you know, fairly quickly and all this other stuff. And he was like, I'm just really offended. Like, I just feel like you're personally attacking me like I'm crazy. And I said, well, to be quite...
You
No,
sound
he's not. He's not.
Bitch ass.
But to be... And I was like, but I said, to be quite honest, I'm offended as well because I don't understand why I need to explain my no to you.
No, a no ends in period.
A no is a no.
Yeah,
and that's how I feel as well.
That means the end of the sentence.
That's how I feel as well. But I
on.
took that opportunity because sometimes guys don't really think about it like from a woman's point of view. Like, shit is dangerous out here for us in real life, you know? So... I thought that would be a great opportunity. So after I said, well, I'm offended too, that's when he goes, see, that's why guys don't like dating smart women. Y'all just overthink things. You're too smart for your own good. So I had to light his ass up.
Boo, you
Look,
bitch.
at that moment, whatever juices were secreting.
There were no juices secreting whatsoever.
Right up. That shit turned
However, having said that,
what's up?
I may take an expensive dinner just for the hell of it.
Yo, and I'm gonna let and if this dude ever hears this, or if he knows, son,
please play for him.
When you pay for all this shit, this expensive, you ain't getting no
You're not
ass.
Getting anything.
Ass.
It would strictly be honest.
You might get a hug.
It would strictly be to be a savage because I don't understand. Like, why would you say that?
Y'all don't understand. Kid is a pit bull in a fucking skirt, yo. She does not give a fuck.
That made me mad. Like, why would you say some shit like that?
Exactly.
That's what's wrong with, I hate you niggas, yo.
But it's further confirmation that the guy that I've been 32. It's further confirmation.
Jesus Christ.
The guy that I have been
he don't get no pussy.
Dating regularly.
That's why men don't like smart women.
I'm like, nigga, that's why you get no pussy. You should have said, I wish you'd have went the low road with it. Like, more like, and that's why you probably never get no ass, yo. Like, for thinking like that, that's stupid.
And then he made the comment like, oh, well, you can calm down. Sir, I am calm. My voice isn't raised. I haven't used any profane language. I haven't even used any SAT words, so I'm not upset.
Oh, shit.
I don't know why you
How long have been talking?
Maybe 2 weeks.
Wow, this nigga.
Thank you. That's my issue.
That nigga ran out.
Like, how long is it going to take? How many days? Let me tell you something. It's going to be what it's going to be until I say otherwise. And if you don't like it, you can leave because guess what? The same way you met me, 10 other niggas will too.
You know what's so funny?
Super thirsty, ain't he?
Yes.
If you need me to beat him up, let me know.
That's just corny because
it just really bothered me.
They don't understand. You talk yourself out of let's not even say sex. You talk yourself out of a good situation by doing all that because you might have been feeling them.
Yeah, and
you might have suggested, like, well, hey, how about we go back to your girl?
I had already said it before. I was like, I understand the invitation is open, and when I'm comfortable, I'll take you up on that. But
exactly, like leave it alone.
Right, but you still continue to push the issue. Like, why?
Yeah, he just kept going.
And then he was like, well, I just really want to spend that time with you. Oh, okay, that's not a problem.
We can spend the time.
We do it in public.
You would thank you.
I don't understand.
Bro, you fucking stupid ass. I've been telling you niggas to get her pregnant and you done fucked it up. You dumb nigga. That's what's going on.
She's not gonna get pregnant. Plan B. She says it every time.
Not right now.
Go ahead, Joe.
Sneaking on her. Dumbass niggas.
Sneaking on her. Oh, I know. You supposed to poke the holes in the condom.
You got 72 hours.
Oh,
72 hours to fix that.
Okay, Key is a savage. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a good week. Son got admitted to the military academy.
That's what's up.
Excited about that. Kind of celebrate his high school career a little bit.
That's what's up.
Just planning, got the date for the cesarean section. It's the official date. So it's gonna be January 23rd.
19th.
No,
birthday, son. 19th.
That's the shower date.
Oh shit! That's my birthday, the shower, and fucking
that's our shower
the fight.
date, and then the 23rd is the what fight is that?
Brona and Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. 19th.
Yeah, it's my birthday.
Okay, all right.
I need to order that.
Why you bullshit? I put it in, or if you order, I put it in.
Yeah, I order it.
No,
How much you gonna put in?
I'm at a hotel that weekend.
We're gonna split this up evenly.
Oh my God, it's Josh. Josh.
I'll come.
It's $100.
Josh is like 70-30, 70-30. You think that?
Hey, I'll cover taxes. I'll do that. I'll cover taxes.
No, not the taxes.
All right. You know what? How about this? This will be an even one. You buy 2 pizzas and 24 pack.
That work.
Yep.
That work. 2 Little Caesars pizzas. I got you, G.
There ain't no food. The food is covered. The food will be there. Right?
I'm just saying. I didn't say what kind of pizza, nigga.
It's gonna happen on my
Get 2 Little
birthday.
Caesars. $5 holla. Cool.
You ain't shit, dog.
It's scheduled cesarean, so it'll be the 23rd unless. He wants to come early.
He gonna come on the 19th. That's what I'm
Not that day. I don't want to do it that day. Nothing against you.
But we gotta link something together, son. Cause that's my birthday. You know what I'm saying? I got people coming to town and shit like that.
Yeah.
So we gonna talk.
Yeah, we gotta make sure it's gonna be a busy weekend.
Yeah,
a lot of people in town, a lot of family in town.
I think Pacquiao gonna beat Broner ass, yo.
I think so. It should be an interesting fight.
Yeah.
So just doing a birth plan. The doc, I told everybody about the Lotus birth scenario. Doctors don't really like that for the most part.
Yeah.
Kids to take some of their money out of their pockets. But like she's been less helpful after we made that assertion. She's not going. She's a good doctor, but again, they don't really like them because it's the stem cells. They use the stem cells in all kinds of products for research. They get like I said, they get the bag for that each time you don't do that. So we're gonna have a Lotus, keep the placenta, keep the umbilical cord attached, and it raises the baby's level of consciousness. And if they do harm them, say with vaccinations, it does help repair the brain cells. So that's what it's for.
Okay.
The way God intended. So I'm happy about that. We got that on board, and other than that, I hope the process goes well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
This week I tried Fortnite for the first time this week, and it's okay.
He likes it.
It's all right.
Y'all won 10th place the other
You
yesterday.
niggas is trash.
Good
I
job.
Yeah, I'm trash. I'm trash.
I watched the live shit the next day. I didn't make it first. Like the
I'm sorry,
first
kid,
couple
about our
minutes,
group.
man.
I muted it. So
Oh,
it's
okay. Well, yeah.
And I apologize for that. That's why I told everybody, if we're gonna do this, get another group for that one, yo. Like, come on.
I didn't pay attention to that shit.
And I low key was snowed in during the ice storm.
Nigga, I went to work.
I was sick.
Yeah.
Snow plowing and getting snow jobs and shit.
Oh, my.
Got them snow globes, bro?
Yeah, that's something.
Man, I got 0 ads for that.
Gave her the snow globe, bro.
Oh, for sure.
Shook it up and it was just snowy all over the place.
That candy cane.
They gave her that candy cane. Oh my goodness.
Dried up snow, bro.
Gave her that Jack off frost.
That thing.
Gotta drink more
I
water,
be
nigga.
swallow days.
It's like living in a frat.
Pretty much. Unfamous by you. Oz, what you got? Mid brethren.
Wagwan.
Mild.
Yo, this is Unreal Fiction with the Quiet Storm.
I am over him. I'm so over him.
I did some unfamous podcast.
Alright, me and my youth, alright.
Yeah.
Wagwan, everybody. Unreal Fiction this month.
I'm not mad at it because at least that voice makes sense for his heritage. All the voices you're doing, I'm like, bro, that don't even make sense. Like, I'd rather you talk like that for the whole episode. That'll work.
Yes,
I'm British
ma'am.
as well, so you know.
Ah, God damn.
Anyway,
My name is
anyway.
Worthington.
My name is Edward Worthington.
Well, see, I can't hear Terrell doing it. My name is Worthington. Worthington.
Stop playing.
Stop playing. Go ahead, Oz. My bad.
My week was good, just, trying to be out here fixing shit for people. Gotta build another computer for somebody else.
Okay.
Trying to do a small little side business, building computers and stuff.
That's what's up, man.
Nice.
You might want to put that info out there. People might want computers built, man.
Just if
I need a computer nigga. I'm just some dude and he couldn't fix my shit.
But he like went to some dude.
Nah, I found him on the internet on Google and he was in Gastonia. I was like, alright, fuck with him.
Did you read the reviews?
He fixed my laptop. He couldn't fix my tablet. My tablet is wild, old, and trash. So I was like, yeah, you can just keep that shit. Fuck it. I ain't even go back for it.
That nigga probably fixed it too. That shit probably works great.
Nigga, have it. Nigga, you know this one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Shit's trash.
But other than that, nothing much been happening. Like, just waiting for this bonus to come in.
Hey, bonuses.
Bonuses.
No, nobody's waiting for that.
Okay.
Yeah, but my week was alright, man. I ain't really do much.
I want to ask. Let's start the show.
Oh my.
So, yeah, my week was pretty good.
That's the fucking comment you meant in the fucking group chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing that too, you piece of shit.
Love is so real, guys.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I didn't really do much this week. Work for the most part. Like Oz was saying, we get our bonuses probably on paycheck.
Yeah, I guess that.
Yeah, I hope so. Bonuses, raises, all that good shit. Yesterday was my old lady's birthday.
Happy birthday, Titi!
Happy birthday.
Congratulations.
Hey, happy birthday. If I never met you.
Me either.
But I've known this nigga for like 10 years now.
Crickets, man. Crickets.
I ain't gonna let y'all do that. So, nah, me and her, we're gonna do some stuff tomorrow. Probably go out, have fun, shop, do all these other cool things that,
Look at you. You done cured your honoriness and whatnot.
Oh no, I'm still an angry person. I'm usually just not angry with her. That's all. She kind of, you know how that goes.
Oh.
Shut up. So, yeah, that was it for my week, man. Other than that, I don't have nothing else going on. So, Kia, what's first on the docket?
I guess we can go to
up,
Mr. Kevin Hart first with the Oscars. That seems to be pretty hot.
I want to throw something else in there
Everyone's
too.
mind.
Oklahoma quarterback Kyler Murray, he was on the night he won the Heisman Trophy. They went and, well, go ahead and set it up. Because you were going to the Kevin Hart, but it kind of goes into that hand because he was.
Yeah, let her go ahead and tell everybody about it first. What's up,
okay. Hey, Bria. Yeah, so Kevin Hart was set to host the Oscars. He'd already sent out, his what do they call it, Instagram, I guess, videos or whatever. Twitter. Okay, I don't have it. I don't know. So shortly after that, a journalist from, I believe, is it a magazine or an online blog of some sort?
It's an online blog.
Something like that. He apparently brought up some tweets back from 2009.
Oh, God.
I think it was like a total of 5 tweets that he posted on Twitter and basically.
He was testing out jokes basically, and they were kind of homophobic or whatever.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
but it wasn't homophobic for 2009. They were funny for 2009. Now that everybody's all fucking pussy and shit, it's like, that's.
And it's also important to note that most of the headlines say he stepped down because he refused to apologize, and that's not true. He stepped down because he refused to apologize again.
Yeah.
He said that he had already apologized on numerous occasions.
Yeah, now you're trying to hold me.
2010 and now, and so he's like, I'm not going to address this anymore. I've done it enough. And I feel like that's an important distinction because that's not, it changes the narrative.
It's almost a whole decade ago.
Yeah. And he's a comedian.
Yes.
Thank you.
You any comedian that I go on and I backtrack their tweets, I'm gonna find some shit.
They found some shit on Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
He had some funny shit. He said if you get on one knee to oppose to a woman and she says no, you're in the right position to uppercut her. And that shit was hilarious.
Thank you.
Look. On Twitter, years ago.
Hold on. Kia just laughed at that.
It's funny.
It's funny.
He's not out here uppercutting bitches.
He's a comedian.
Thank you.
It was funny.
So, and one of the tweets that I read, he said if I come home and I see my son playing with my daughter's dolls, I'm what did he say? I'm gonna chop him in the neck or some wild shit like that. Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I say I'm gonna say stop. That's gay. I'm like, that's funny to me. It's like, and the sad part is, it's not like he hasn't already did a joke like that before anyway.
Yeah, with the corduroys. So he was like, I didn't know what to do. I just pushed him down.
I just put his kids down. That's gay. We all laughed at it. So I'm like, why?
My issue is, of all the past Oscar hosts and hostesses, more specifically hosts, I'm sure if you search in their past, you'll find some even more horrific things that were not only said but done. So, what's the issue here? And also, did he have these tweets from previously? Because 9 years ago is a lot of tweets to go through to get to those. Right. Am I right?
No.
He tweets a lot. He's on Instagram
all the time.
I'm just trying to figure out, did somebody
hold it? You can't be black and great. You can't do it.
This is how I feel about it. I feel like he, more than just the tweets, my biggest issue is the timing, because he said one of his dream gigs was to do the Oscars, and it seemed like as soon as that got announced that he was going to be the host, that's when somebody decided to bring that out and dig up the skeletons for something that, like we said, he's already joked about, apologized or whatever. Then to piggyback off what you said, there's a young man named Kyler Murphy who He's only 20, 21 years old. Just won the Heisman Trophy, which is the highest honor for a football player. That's basically the MVP of the year. Around the same night he won the Heisman, somebody brought up tweets from 2011 when he was 14 years old, where he had a tweet using the term queer, and they tried to say that was homophobic and an anti-gay slur, and tried to slam him.
But didn't they also do that to that quarterback, the white boy quarterback?
If they let these,
got the number, I can't remember his name.
If they let these professional
yeah.
football players continue to play after they are confirmed rapists and murderers, like I ain't trying to hit it.
Yeah.
Let that shit ride.
I agree. My thing is, why would you look at something a 14-year-old said and try to use that against a grown-ass man? Like, he's grown now. Why are you trying to use...
But that's the age that we live in. Like, everything is,
So, Bria was like, yo, Nick Cannon went and reposted homophobic tweets from previous Oscar hosts.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all the Oscar hosts are usually comedians anyway.
Yeah.
Like, for the most part.
What does that word even mean, though? Homophobic. I mean,
scared of
doesn't make any sense.
homosexuals, basically.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean
I mean,
or homosexuality.
So if I joke about somebody in the street and talk about somebody like anybody, am I scared of them?
No, that's the weird part. So that doesn't even make sense.
That make any sense?
The term to me, exactly.
I'm scared of you. That's all I want to talk about.
I want to say some wild shit I witnessed. I was at the IHOP off of what is that? Like by the airport or whatever. And like it was some homeless dude out there. This is some white guy. He had on a dress, just chilling. I don't think it was no kind of way. He just had a dress on, chilling. He asked me, he was like, "Yeah, I get some $1 so I can get on a bus to get back to my motel and blah blah blah." I was like, "I ain't got it. I had it. I knew I was
What's up,
He's like, I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying?" He's like, "All right, you good?" You know what I'm saying? He had the dress just chilling, just bopping. and so I want to say the correct term is it butch or is it stud lesbians? Stud lesbians. Stud super studs. They were dressed harder than me. They laughing at him like, look at that guy with a dress on. I'm like, aren't you dressed like a nigga? How you gonna judge him and you're dressed like a nigga? Like
a whole nigga?
Dressed like a nigga.
And Bree was like,
you got your
I've seen that guy before.
Down. Thank you.
Where have you been at?
He's been in Uptown before. I've seen him before too.
Yeah, he's just bopping in his dress, chilling. Yeah. He good, he comfortable. And y'all come dressed like whole niggas. And like, he got a dress on. I'm like, hold on, you got nigga clothes on. You got a shirt set by Hanes, bitch. Hanes for men.
Wait.
That ain't Hanes for studs.
Son. They out here wearing boxer briefs.
Thank you. I'm in
with a
Walmart.
Dick hole. It has a dick hole. What are you going to use that for?
Walmart buying boxes. I can't find none of my size because the lesbians got them on.
Son, I thought I was the only one.
Thank you.
I can't find
I had to
no
fight for
boxes.
the bitch. You better give me them goddamn extra larges, bitch. Fuck out of here.
They might order them online. You can't get them out the store.
Hell yeah.
And they laughing at a man with a dress on. You dressed like a whole nigga. You ain't go to Ladies Foot Locker. You went to regular nigga Foot Locker for them sneakers, bitch.
Is that what they call it? Regular nigga Foot Locker?
It's really tight.
Regular nigga is implied.
Fuck out of here.
Can I go
that
level?
shit confused the shit out of me.
Can I go a level deeper with this?
Go ahead.
Okay. Are we at the age now where, and it's not a knock on gays or lesbians or the LGBT community, are we at an age now or a time now where people use the term queer or faggot and they trying to equate that to the term nigger or whatever? And as far as saying that's a derogatory term, and to them it is. But I don't know if it carries the same weight as the term nigger.
So I've yet to hear, I'm just from the people that I know that are part of that community, I've yet to hear anyone actually say, let me rephrase. I've heard people say that it's derogatory to them. And in order for someone else to understand it, they would say, oh, well, what if, someone called a black person the N-word or whatever. But they always preface that with not to say that we've suffered the same amount of pain and hurt and disenfranchisement, I guess, as black people have in America. But it's a way to get people to understand, like, this is a hurtful word to us. I've yet to hear anyone say that it equates and holds the exact same amount of pain.
It shouldn't even be in a conversation. There was a show called Queer Eye, right? Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, something like that. There was a show name called that.
Yep.
I'm kind of tired of them equating it at all because it's like, okay, so the black LGBT community, I don't know if they feel the same way about the Kevin Hart jokes or anything like that. And then it's like, well, where's it stop at?
Some of them do, but they also, in that, the ones that I know, they feel that way, but they also feel like if we're going to do this, then you need to address all of these straight white men out here bashing us too. Like, where is that? Where is this power when these white men out here doing the same thing?
It's not. It's still racist. It's still racist at the end of the day. I mean, people have to understand whether you're gay or not. Powers that people don't look at your gayness first. They look at you whatever your color is. Even in that community.
Absolutely.
Even in that community.
They express that.
So it's like, and then you overlook all the other injustices in the world.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at these words that don't have the history or heft of the N-word.
Yeah.
There's no 100, 300, 500 history of that being used. And on top of that, in a lot of industries, they're the ones in power. You understand? The LGBT, the white ones are generally the ones in power.
Yeah.
So they're not oppressed. So to go on that bandwagon doesn't make any sense.
And I feel like at the same time, it's not. I don't even think it's necessarily them even saying anything.
Yeah.
It's other people that we the social justice warriors mostly, that they feel sorry for them, that they're the ones that's fighting for them when they're like, oh shit, wait, I didn't ask you to help me or anything like that. I didn't ask you to say anything for me. These people are like saying things and trying to like what if somebody that's black gets told something that they don't even seem offensive, they'll come in and be like, yo, that was offensive to him, stuff like. I'm like,
that happens a lot.
yeah, I'm like, it's just,
I will say, let me first say, I admire the kind of power that community has to make shit happen. I wish that we had that kind of, we as in black people, black Americans, had that kind of unity to be able to make shit happen.
Yeah, they make words
like
disappear.
they make cities lose money. Like, it's real. I wish we had that influence.
You heard the word faggot in a rap song.
I haven't heard it in a rap song.
They almost destroyed Offset because he said queer.
Thing.
They almost destroyed him.
There's like, I listened to this podcast called Horrible Decisions. Shout
out to them.
And they had a queer couple on. It was like an Asian dude and a white dude. And the white dude is like a rap executive.
Yeah.
So like when he's not, working, he has, the typical gay twang, for lack of a better word. Yeah. And when he walks into a boardroom and he's like, yo, what's up? Like, what's good?
It up.
Yeah.
Now, do you think, to expand on what you're saying, do you think that part of that, I'm not saying that's the sole reason, but part of that, going back to what Joe's saying, is because people who are in that community control the narrative as far as they might be people over media, television, so they can omit things because they're the ones in power.
They control the narrative, but I also feel like when it comes to us, a lot, I won't say most recently, but up until I'd say maybe, I think it started with our generation where we just started to, or it became more prevalent in our generation where we started to identify more with our quote unquote blackness, for lack of a better term. But I think prior to that, it was more important to assimilate and blend in and not make any waves. Like, let's just get here, and once we get to where we need to be, then we can change people from the inside. Like, I feel like that was the plan before. So people weren't really willing to speak. Not enough of them were willing to speak up without being shot,
Yeah. Which community are you talking about?
Black Americans.
Well, what decade is that?
The generation before mine. I'm 26.
Okay,
so I was born in 91.
I mean, I would say there's always been a cry for social justice. I mean, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s today, right? So the thing about it is that I don't necessarily admire it because it's not being leveled across the board. And then people can change up, like the white dude you mentioned, because he could change up his style to fit the situation all the time. But we're black, period, right? So he has that ability to metamorphosize himself in every given moment, which is something different. But the whole dynamic with the LGBT community is that it is also racist. It is also exclusionary.
Absolutely.
And then so people will also say that black people, when someone says something about, say, the blackface lady, about the Halloween shit, she got fired. We have many examples where somebody says something racially on air that wasn't sensitive, and they was out of here. You know, it affected their pocketbook or their wallet, right? Mm-hmm. So we have some influences, but I wouldn't. I don't personally put it in the same category because again, they control the narrative. They're the ones generally holding those seats. So they're pretty much being bullies, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. They're not oppressed.
This is my thing about the whole thing. I just feel like, and I always say this, it's like, if you're gay, they try to compare the gay and black struggle, and I understand, but I'm like, you can hide you're gay. I can't hide my black.
Exactly.
I'm black every day.
That's a valid point.
You know what I'm saying? I can't be like, oh yeah, let me put on this Noxzema and bleach up a little bit. Like, nah, nigga, like you're still black. Like the police will still shoot the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But you can act like you're not gay, because that's what goes on behind your closed door or whatever.
Hey.
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
And
what's up, Ashley?
I agree with,
that Ashley showed up. Hey, what's going on?
I agree with I agree with Joe's point where he said it's also racist in the community. That's very true, and you hear that. That's a conversation that's going on now in that community where a lot of minority LGBTQ are like, why are y'all the face of the movement? You know what I'm saying? Like there's more of us, so that's definitely. Do you mind? Can you not? Listen, don't do that. Don't do that.
Hello. What you doing around here?
Hey.
Don't do that.
Right, but we talk about that.
It don't matter.
I can't stand you sometimes.
You know what I'm saying? All right, look, we just do that. Well, we can't just do that to him because he don't care. She lost her train of thought now.
But and I also want to say this isn't to minimize the struggle that community has had. Now, I do believe that at this point it is getting on the verge of bullying, because if you say anything that's adverse and it's like, oh, you're homophobic, oh, and I understand that reaction is a direct result of so many people being killed and beaten and all kinds of things, you know, because of how they sexually identify. So I get it, but they got to find that line, and I feel like now they're kind of crossing that line. Like, I still have the right to my opinion. I still have the right to how I feel. As long as I'm not negatively impacting your life, you should let me talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should have that opinion.
And I feel like them going back and looking at people's old tweets, whether they, even if it, you know, going back to a child, somebody, a teenager, and comparing it to how you feel as a grown man. Even if you've grown, the things you felt like years ago might be changed how you are today. Change. So they're jumping down people's throats and calling them homophobic without giving them a chance to.
I thought I was the only one who got that.
No pun intended, but that, I kind of set myself up for that one.
Jumping down them throats.
But anyway, even as an adult, things you say years ago might not necessarily be how you feel today. So I think that they're just trying to judge people by looking up old things that they said before without giving them a fair shake.
And it's
no pun on that.
It's
an
easy target, right? It's an easy target. Like,
I was waiting for it.
A fair what?
I don't know this journalist that you know that brought this up about Kevin Hart. I don't know what his sexual orientation is, but I feel like that's such an easy way to just get rid of the first black host of the Oscars, right? Like,
first 48 about to say some shit.
Wasn't
Chiefs just lost.
Chiefs just lost.
Did Chris Rock host the Oscars?
Yeah.
Chris Rock hosted.
He hosted the Oscars.
He did. Oh, my bad. He did it when they was doing the blackout, where all the black people supposed to be like boycotting the Oscars, but he was like, "Nigga, this is the Oscars. Fuck y'all."
Yeah.
Like he said it. He was like, "Fuck y'all. This is the Oscars." Like,
you know what's funny about the Oscars though? All the time is that it's named after Oscar Micheaux, who was a black man. That's why the statue.
I did not know that.
That's why the statue is bronze. He created the industry of the movie industry.
Teach these devils.
Oscar Micheaux.
That nigga is really the devil teacher.
That ass. So it's like it's white now. It's like probably back 100 years from now, rap would be white. Doesn't mean that it started out like that.
And I
sorry, transition corner.
No, but he created it.
I had this conversation with Rhea. Like we create so many things and we sell it out to the highest bidder. You know what I'm saying? It was the same thing. Rock and roll, we did that shit first. You know what I'm saying? Like
Jack Daniels.
all types of forms of music. I understand what you're saying, but we let these people get in control. Like that's what happened. But hold on, let me finish. Let me finish.
Podcast is gone.
But then don't then turn around and say, oh, all of these white people are making money off of appropriation. Blah, blah, blah. Somebody chose to chose to sell
No,
that.
it's not. All due respect, it's not really how it generally works. Now, if you have Chuck Berry's, or if you have
not Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry was phenomenal. Is phenomenal in the history of rock and roll. Even Ike Turner. Rocket 88, just historically, Rocket 88 was the first rock and roll album.
Yeah.
Elvis Presley said that he influenced him. He saw him perform Rocket 88 in person. Now, we had that. What happens is it's co-opted just like the computer industry. The cell phone was created by a black person, Dr. Sampson, a naval engineer. Computer industry. You can look at Facebook. You think Facebook is the only Facebook? There were a lot of black Facebooks out there.
Oh, black man.
But the money and the engine is put behind them. Again, if they control the narrative, they control the industry. You know, Howlin' Wolf. That's rock and roll. But they didn't sell it out. It's just that they put it out there. Like right now, how you gonna control them putting out white rappers? They dumb it down first. Once I saw auto-tunes, once I saw them dumb down the lyrics, I knew anybody could jump in at that point. Because it was about the beat and about and kind of about the bump, about the track,
hook
right?
too.
The hook. So you dumb
They
it
even
down.
watered down the music.
Yeah, you watered it down and dumbed it down. So now they can take it in. Who's stopping that? It's not really us selling it out. There are tons of rappers around the world making big money, black, that are doing the thing like it's supposed to be done. But in the broader scheme of things, it is going to become or could become whited out because they can still use whiteface.
But my thing about the whole white rap thing is like, it's not really a lot of white rappers out that's, you know what I'm saying? It's like 2 or 3. But I just feel like we don't support how white people support it. White people buy T-shirts, posters, magazines with their favorite rapper on it. Like, we don't do that. Like, I'm not going to run up to Jay-Z like, yo, you my nigga. Like, you have to come to my room and see mad Jay-Z posters on the wall. You be like, y'all be like, nigga, you wild gay, son. You know what I'm saying?
Full circle.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's like, yo, like, white people support differently than we do. Like, white people that have fucking, like, you got 3 generations of white people that listen to, like, I'd say, like, Guns N' Roses. Your grandfather, your dad, and your grandfather all listen to Guns N' Roses out because that's what they listen to.
Are you saying that black people
No, I'm saying we're right now at this table, we're the kind of 3 generations of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? We don't. Hip hop is not that old. Hip hop is my age, son. Hip hop is just hitting 40. You know what I'm saying? Like
40, 45.
Yeah, but fucking these fucking
big
hair bands and all this shit. They've been like white people been listening to guitar music. I'm not saying they're running it. I'm not saying they started it, but they've been listening to it.
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix.
The greatest.
Is what is like heavy metal would not be heavy metal without Jimi Hendrix.
But my mom never sat me down and listened to
Muddy Waters.
It's my music guy. You got my music
I
guy.
agree with that.
So who's the best guitarist in the world? That's been recognized.
See, and this is all going to be subjective. I mean,
he's recognized as the best guitarist.
He is recognized.
He's recognized as one of the best, but I wouldn't.
He was recognized as the best by Rolling Stone. The best.
I mean, Jimi Hendrix.
He was recognized as the best. That's what
I mean,
I'm talking about.
yeah, no, like, but I feel like that's subjective at the end of the day.
But he was voted.
I mean, nobody. I feel like it's the best, but
they voted him the best.
There we go. I can say that he's the most influential.
That's my point. His influence on heavy metal, just like Muddy Waters before him. But if you listen to early Muddy Waters, if you listen to Jimi Hendrix, that was the template for what is now heavy metal.
The thing about
y'all talking about the Redman album?
No. The thing about Jimi Hendrix, when it came to him in music, he was doing something that was completely different when it came to heavy metal. But before, because there's different genres of rock and metal and all that anyway. Yeah. So you got heavy metal, you got this type of metal, you got alternative rock, you got grunge rock, you got all that. So him and heavy metal, they almost kind of go hand in hand, but they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched a whole documentary about it, and once they broke it all down, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like, with him, he's more of that, like, that progressive 60s rock, you know, the acid rock almost, you know what I'm saying, where, you know, they had intricate, you know, lines and stuff like that. Like, it was on the lines of heavy metal. It could have went either way. Like, the one person that you could say that was truly really like heavy metal before heavy metal was really popping was like Ozzy, son. Like Black Sabbath, because Black Sabbath when they first, or the Who, like the Who, they started off like real just whatever, and they started getting to more of that heavy metal type vibe. So I agree with you on that part. I wouldn't say that he like heavy metal kind of came directly from it though.
No, not directly. I mean influence. Like
that's what I'm saying. They had little influence.
Like everybody builds on everyone else, but historically with us, we've been influenced. Just like if I would say Dr. Dean, you talk about the floppy disk. He created that. He was black. He has the most patents in that industry.
Floppy.
It was not Paul Allen. It was not.
Why he don't get the hate? I get
it was not Paul Allen, and it was not Bill Gates doing that. But it's like we do create a lot of things when given an opportunity, and because of the money put behind certain people, they get the notoriety.
Yeah, we're going to move to the next one.
Player.
Okay. So I guess next we can talk about Miss Centoya Brown, and I know Josh, you wanted to also speak on frat rapist guy.
That's the light skinned joint that got
that
killed her pimp. Was he
no, because I thought that was the story too. So that's not what happened. So let me go ahead and.
I always watch the news.
Don't know. So at the age of 16, Centoya was arrested for the murder and I think robbery of a John. He was 42 years old. He solicited her for sex. She ended up taking his life. According to police officers, afterwards she took his funds or whatever, and her and a friend, for lack of a better term, went joyriding, quote unquote, according to police officers.
I thought it was.
Let me finish.
I'm sorry.
He on it today, guys.
Damn. She said, according to Centoya, she said that she killed him because she was afraid that he was going to kill her, and she took the money because she was afraid that her boyfriend / pimp was going to harm her if she came back without any funds. Now, and I didn't even know this until recently, but constitutionally it is illegal, it's illegal to give a child life without parole. So when she was tried for this crime, she was 16, so they couldn't give her life without parole. What they gave her was 51 years before she was eligible for parole. This was 10 years ago. She's now 26. She's earned her associate's degree while she's been incarcerated.
Hold on, she's locked up. How long has she been locked up at this point?
10
Till
years.
now.
10
Oh, she already did 10.
Okay.
Yeah, she did 10.
I thought she was locked up in 2004.
She was 16 years old when she got arrested, according to the articles.
Okay.
So, she could have gotten arrested in 2004, but she wasn't convicted until she was 16.
I didn't know this.
It's very possible. So, so a lot of people are like rallying around her. They've done appeals. Now they're looking to the current Tennessee governor for clemency. And according to the most recent article, I think he has like 6 weeks left in his term. And so he said, we're looking at it. We'll make our decision in the next couple of weeks, that kind of thing. I think his age adjusted as well. So the argument is like, how could you give someone 51 years when you know that they come from a background of sex trafficking? Like apparently she's been a victim of sex trafficking since she was 14 years old.
But hold on, my thing is like, I thought she killed the person that forced her into sex trafficking.
No, it was a John that she
killed the customer.
That was the first thing I heard. Yeah.
So everybody was like, "Oh, like."
Because I thought the same thing. That's why when I read it, I was like, "Wait."
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, all right. I thought. All right. Was she forced into it? Like, how was she forced into it? Or she was just out just selling pussy?
No. According to her, this was arranged between the John and her boyfriend / pimp. This is the guy that had apparently brought her in or forced her into prostitution at the age of 14.
Oh, that's wrong right there. But she rode out for whatever years, so she knew what the fuck she was doing.
I mean, yeah, but when you're 14 years old, like your brain isn't even fully formed yet, for one, and two, like you're depending on this person for everything. There's a very sick attachment that forms between someone that young and their abuser. It happens with adult women, like when you feel like you have no one else to go,
Like,
so
I don't
and they take that into consideration. There are a number of white women in jail right now for crimes committed that they did because of whatever guy they were dating. People got murdered, all this stuff. They get 12 years, 6 years. So why does she deserve 51 years before she's even eligible for parole?
I don't have no opinion on this. I'm scared to say it.
I would say,
wow.
I don't want to say this shit.
I would say this. All right, so I would ask, what's the proper number in your opinion? She should serve some time.
I fully agree with that. She should serve some time because somebody's dead and it was at her hands.
Yeah,
absolutely. But I feel like if the argument is, especially with younger people, you always hear the narrative of, well, we don't want to take away their entire future. They were a kid. It was a mistake. We want to give them a chance at life, right? That's usually the argument that we hear. So the swimmer from the university swimmer who was charged with raping someone, the man got 6 months and he was in college. And the judge specifically said, oh, well, I think he still has a bright future. You know what I'm saying? So at 16, like, at the very least, if you're going to do that, at least let her out when she's like 25, maybe. Like, old enough to at least have some kind of chance to live a full life. But 51 years from the age of 16, she going to be 67 when she get out. If she gets out then. Like, that's insane.
I'm just going to rock with whatever black people go with. I don't even know what's going on in this one. This shit got me confused. I thought she was like, wow, like, I'm just a child. And like, no, like, you're just grown.
She wasn't grown.
No, she wasn't grown.
She was 16.
She was 16.
Oh, she was 16 when she murdered the dude.
She was 16 when she was convicted. She was 14 when she murdered the dude. Yeah. She was 16 when she was convicted.
I don't know.
I feel like three things will happen. I would say I don't know her condition in prison. I don't know her state of mind right now. Based on the crime committed, if she's changed at any level, 30 sounds justified to me. At least get out of it.
Because 25 is life, right? 25 is like...
usually 25
I mean, for to get out when she's 30. I mean, when she's...
No, he's talking about like 25
like
years is life.
They've had people... There's been children who have done worse.
Way worse.
And because they were underage, the judge will be like, well, let's revisit this when you're 18, or
probation.
Let's revisit this when you're 20. Like, it's happened, and white people have done way worse, because that's what it is. So I think it's blatantly obvious that you value.
Why does Kia not get the ignorant step?
I'm just saying.
She does wild ignorant shit.
It's not wild.
You know why it's not ignorant or wild? Because
she's 80-20. She's 80-20. 80 positive, but 20
they blatantly get labeled like, oh, well, they have something to contribute to the community. We're gonna give them another chance, and she does it.
Yeah, I gotta take on that. Do you feel like I want to blend this in with something else that I wanted to talk about?
Damn, bro. Blending today.
I'm trying to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone.
Okay.
So, do you think we have a new criminal justice reform law of grabs right now, where as far as nonviolent drug offenders can get out early or not be severely punished, and people who are locked up can get out early for good behavior, they get points toward it, and they're going to make a more concerted effort as far as people who are locked up now to have social skills or some kind of degree of skill, so when they get out, they'll have some kind of skill to function in society. So basically, what I'm trying to get to that is, in a case like this where somebody's tried as a juvenile, do you think that's... I don't know if that part is covered in the new justice reform law. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's something they should add as far as...
Yes.
I think they should always take that into consideration when dealing with the juvenile. Side note, shout out to San Francisco, who I think they're commuting all the sentences, all drug, weed-related sentences from all the way back in 1976. Shout out to them. So I think that should always be taken into consideration. I also think that they need... I don't fully understand why they put children, unless they went on like a spree killing or something in there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. A nonviolent drug offender is what is covered now. What about a juvenile violent offender? How do you feel about that?
I think at the very least they should be reassessed at 18. At the very least, if not 21, because scientifically speaking, your brain isn't.
Are we giving a window with it that's 17 and a half going to be 18 in 6 months?
Well, there has to be a cutoff line.
Right.
So if they haven't reached that age, then they should be reassessed. But I think we should use science for it as opposed to just what people think. Because realistically speaking, your entire brain, including your frontal cortex, isn't fully formed until you're 25. And that's where impulse control is.
So put it like this. So most of the shooters in most communities that's doing the damage. They're not 30-something years old.
No.
They're 16, they're 15, they're 17. So they came in and they shot somebody's brother, right? And they 16, but the mother was crackhead or something, or they had a hard lifestyle. What would you say to that? Say they killed your mama, robbed her, but I had a hard lifestyle, so I should get 2 years and reassess at 18. I would say they should get the time. They're 16. They can do that. You're gonna learn today. But you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn in prison today.
I can't say
at least 30. At least.
No, but I think it's different because you're comparing a child that had a hard life and they want to rob someone's mother to you introduce me to a life where I'm 14. I just started having sex with a grown man, and then now I have to pick my life for his life, opposed to somebody that's on a killing spree. They want to have fun.
How do you know that?
Rob somebody. But because you have to speak to them, you have to know they have people that come in and speak to the children. My aunt, she works it's a jail called TGK, and she's actually a teacher because you have to give the kids educational services, even though they're not an adult. So she teaches them in the jail. She comes through, teaches the kids, take care of them, whatever, and they have life. Yeah, they're there the whole time. And they have crimes where 2 guys, they raped like a crackhead or something in an abandoned house down south, Homestead, and they get in life. And they simply be like, oh, we just did it. We was having fun, we were drunk, we were high. Like just cause they have people that actually come and they take care of the kids. Yeah. Even though they did this, they still have to take care of them. Yeah. So they get into their head, they see what they were thinking. Yes. So if they speak to Cynthia and she's saying, listen, I did this because I had to. It was him or myself. And who else is you gonna pick him or you gonna pick yourself?
Okay,
okay. Go ahead.
So I think that you should try to sentence them based on like their purpose. Why? What was your why?
Well, for one, I don't even know if she was necessarily in a situation like that. I would say that if she killed him, took his money, and then went joyriding with her boyfriend/pimp, that doesn't show to me that she was in a fight for her life. It shows me that it was planned, and you don't know that was the first one. There's no guarantee that didn't happen before. Like when you saw the movie Monster, she killed a series of guys with Charlize Theron. I don't. Yeah, a series of guys. I don't know. It doesn't sound like somebody who was in a fight for her life. I can only say that.
I need to look at the story more because I heard like 3 different versions of the Cynthia story. Yeah. But if it's the one where she kind of just did it because she had to do it, I think that's different than what you're saying. Oh, she did it because her pimp and they set it up. Then she should get the max because you did it to like benefit yourself or beneficial gain with your pimp. That's different opposed to, oh, I'm doing this because I have to. It's me or him. So I think they need to figure out the why before they sentence them. Not just like, oh, it looks like this on paper, so fuck it, we're gonna give them 51 years because that's not fair. Because at the end of the day, they're still children, and you don't know what they could have missed out on, the possibility that they could have had, opportunities you don't know. You take all that from them. Yeah. Just because, and a lot of times, blacks, we get sentenced, we get tried differently than whites. Yeah. Always, since the beginning. Mm-hmm. And nowadays, we like kind of pick and choose, like, oh, well, like you say, oh, well, I want to go with the black people, what they say. And it's basically right or wrong. It shouldn't have to be that way.
Yeah. What about, now this is my only thing. What about, you speaking from the kids and what they went through and things like that, why? What about the victim and their families? Like, they don't care about, if you kill my mom, I'm not caring about why you did it, what your upbringing was. I'm looking at the end result.
I do want to speak to, because I understand that, and from a victim's point of view, like, I get that, like, so the question is, what is the well, it's not a question because we really know what the purpose is, but what purpose do we want this quote-unquote justice or legal system to serve? Is it to exact revenge, or is it to rehabilitate? Because the fake narrative is rehabilitation. We know that's not the case. Yeah. But, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, by the time they make it in with these kinds of sentences, like, it's kind of like, well, shit, they ain't getting out. Ain't no need to really work on them. But there are kids, like, even if she was complicit, she should get more time for being complicit, but you still have to take into consideration that she was with a grown man at 14 years old.
You don't
That
know
was
what
her
he was
daddy.
telling her
That was
or
her
nothing.
provider. That was it. That was it. It is hard. It's hard for grown women to imagine themselves who have
How old
possibilities. She was 14 when she
So you
started.
talking about the boyfriend?
How was the
The boyfriend, and they didn't. First of all, I don't even think he's being charged. Was he arrested?
They don't even know
I
who
never
he
heard
is.
anything about him being arrested or anything.
But he didn't do nothing.
They don't know who he is.
So I just that has to be. I think that should be taken into consideration when it. What is the purpose here? Are we rehabilitating these children, or do we just want to punish them? Because if the goal is to punish,
No, America.
then definitely like
America's not
slam the book on
rehabilitating
it.
no one.
Slam the
It's
book on
Here's
it.
the problem with, like I said, it's going to the new law, whatever. They're trying to let people out early. They're trying to so-called rehabilitate you.
Mm-hmm.
But we got so many privately owned prisons that's to me that's bad for business.
Well, no, because now they're switching over to moving into more into the probation area. They're working on privatizing that now. They're making more of their money off the ankle bracelets. Now you got an app you can use. So trust me, they ain't losing no money. If it's happening, they ain't losing no money. They found a different way to make some money. Yeah.
Well, I stand corrected.
Keep under control. That's about it.
Yeah. So now you try, but I just think it's important. I mean, because I watched this one. I love watching Lockup, y'all. That's my shit.
Yeah.
But they did one on
They had the booty roller.
what's the one? The famous in New York, the famous Rikers Island. They did one on Rikers Island, right? So it's a shit ton of people in there, right? And I think they said it's 44% of them that are in there for violent crimes. They'll be in there for quite some time, but the other 56%, some of them haven't even been charged yet. Like convicted. They're spending 4 years in there with hardened criminals. They're not separated. They ain't worried about them. By the time they get out, even if they are innocent, they're going to be much more of a criminal than when they went in. Yeah, that's factual.
70% of felons who get out repeat offenders.
Yeah, because they learn more. So you got to take, like, there are kids, they've interviewed some of these kids, and they like, well, shit, I love being here because at least here I got my homies. When I'm on the street, I don't know how I'm going to eat. Somebody might stab me. Somebody might shoot. I ain't got to worry about most of that in here. So what are you giving them to look forward to if you just saying we just gonna put you in a box? Because guess what? They still gonna get out. Because when they get older, the state don't want to pay for that. They have you as long as you can get free labor. Once you cost too much, they release your ass.
Okay, so let me ask you something. With the young lady being so young when she went into prison, her brain hasn't fully, since you said 25, right?
25.
So she's 26 now. So basically, most of her life she's known prison life. Right?
It makes a difference.
Right. So how do we know that, and like the stat says, like 70% of people who get out go right back. So most of her adult life being in prison, and that's all she knows.
Right.
How do we assess when somebody's been rehabilitated where, okay, we feel like you've served your time, you go out, and we're not worried about you coming back in.
Right.
Or if it's been to the fact that most of your adult life has been in here, we strongly feel like you'll be back here.
So, institutionalized at that point.
You do get institutionalized rather quickly,
So
and I do feel like it's important to be able to reacclimate people better than what they do. Like they let you go to a halfway house if you don't have a home to go to, and it's just kind of like, all right, find a job. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the same way when people come back from war, they get a certain amount of time to get reacclimated. They get that time, like not in actual society, but working with a therapist, doing it, because these things have to change. Like, you don't know how to function in this world. I think it'll be costly, so it probably won't happen. But I think that would make more sense. Also, it's important to realize that she's in a women's institution versus a men's. So in a women's institution, most of the time, unless it's like a max facility, they have a lot more movement, a lot more freedom. Like you'll hear a lot of women say, "Oh, it's kind of like being in a dorm room." So they have a lot more movement, as far as I know, than like a men's facility.
You know what? Also, I would say 2 movies that I looked at that kind of shows that difference is Where to Invade Next.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
All around Europe, and they show how they deal with children in schools, what they feed them, how they treat married couples, and what benefits you get for maternity leave, paternity leave. Also, how jobs operate for those in Europe, some countries in Europe, and also how they incarcerate people. What the purpose is. Another movie, another project that happened was the Stanford Prison Project, and they had 12 Stanford students come into the Stanford psychiatry building, and
when they did that experiment,
and they made it, and they made an assignment where it was supposed to last for 3 months.
Yeah, it only lasted for like a week or so.
So like a week. So they had arbitrarily selected like say
guards.
Your guard, your prisoner. Your guard, your prisoner. Your guard.
Yeah, for like day one, that shit went to shit. Yo.
By day 3, motherfuckers was sodomizing people. It was like the guards was like sticking shit at people. Like it was crazy.
I don't remember that, yo, in the movie.
No,
damn.
It was abusing and putting it. It was crying. It was breaking apart. It wasn't even a real prison. And they knew it wasn't a real prison.
I don't remember those sodomizers. I just remember them they would be assholes, yo.
Yeah, they would be assholes. You're right.
Like they would like, bro, I'm cheeks. Like,
we just got here.
They were making a win, right? Like they were making a win.
Wait a second, they walk in like 2 seconds later.
They be naked and shit. Like
it makes like a huge difference.
So it showed because both my mother-in-law and my father-in-law were both corrections officers on Rikers Island for 20 years. So the effects of not only the prison life on the guards, but also the effects on the inmates and how it just goes downhill. And these are all white people doing this project in a basement that they made to look and feel like a prison. And they had an ex-prisoner and ex-warden as consultants. So it's funny how in a make-believe life, in a week or two, these people cracked up.
But you put these kids in.
Well, I'll give you an even more current social experiment that's so interesting. I don't know if anybody watched 60 Days In, where they take people who...
Oh, yeah, I saw the show.
That's a show. That shit is crazy.
They lose their shit.
That's
I mean, but you gotta think about like how many people like even I understand the reason for administrative stay, like they just put them in the shoe, no contact, whatever, 23 hours, right? And there's some prisons, I think there's a prison in Oklahoma where the most dangerous prisoners, no, it's Minnesota, the most dangerous prisoners, they actually put them in a cell with no contact outside, like they can't even hear other people. Like there's a room and then their room. They can't see, they can't hear, they ain't got shit. I mean, a person can only last so long without human contact. What do you think is going to happen? What is the purpose? 6 months, 5 months in a cell, you can't talk. They're gonna be more animalistic when they come out. That's facts.
Yeah, and like when I seen the other prisons like over in like Europe and stuff, they treat prison more like a rehabilitation than actual prison.
Nigga, don't believe that shit.
No. But at the same time, I'm not. No,
they read books.
No. I'm not talking about like. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about for like the. Like for the more serious crimes, they won't be doing that shit.
What up? How you know?
Remember me? I've been around the world like 3 times. Son.
How you been to prison?
It's not son. They'll tell you don't go to prison. They got a whole show to not go to prison overseas called Locked Up Abroad.
No, I'm not saying
all prisons are the best. Don't believe you on Facebook. We're like in Germany.
Lots of it.
Three books a day.
Not Sweden.
But Ajay, what are you trying to say? He's not saying all of them like that, but there are some prisons in other countries.
If you go to if you go to Sweden. Like the way they treat the prisoners, if you smoke weed or something, you won't be in there for like 6 months. They're gonna treat you like you're an actual person. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh, somebody open up the door for this dickhead.
I promise you. You believe that Facebook shit if you want, like in Sweden they said
but you gotta understand. But Sweden is a more developed country than other places. Like in Thailand, obviously in Thailand,
that's what I'm saying. Like what you're saying is right, Ajay, but. There are some other countries
I just
where...
don't like when people be like, oh, in this country they do this, that. But they got fuck shit. That's why they're coming here. Ain't nobody leaving America like, let's go to Switzerland.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't see many Swedish people over here.
Yeah, they chilling.
Like, they good over there.
You understand what they doing? Like, they don't... They just fucking... They only fuck with them.
That's fine.
They don't... They're not on nobody's side in every war. They fucking... They're neutral in everything. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, but I wasn't saying...
But when shit go down, America, can y'all help us? The fuck out of here, yo. Like, nah. Like, don't believe all that bullshit like, oh, it's so super great over there. No, because you're black and you'll be the only nigga there. You think they're going to be nice to you? Like, hey, Mr. Black Man.
Well, no, they won't be nice to
over there. You get fucked first day.
Oh, God. But he not...
No, on the...
No, he's over there.
Hold on. You're misinterpreting that.
There's a lot...
That's not what he's saying.
There's a lot... There are a lot of countries in Europe where there are a lot of black people in there.
Yes.
Right? So my thing is, we're talking about specifically like Finland, talking about talking about
Sweden,
Norway,
Scandinavia,
talking about Italy, and that's where Michael Moore went. He went to the prisons there, and he went to the schools. He talked about the fact that they don't pay for their education. What's right now in Paris, France, the last couple of weeks, they didn't burn down Paris, France. Yeah. It's not on the news that much. Yeah. But they all they said was you gotta pay for your education and raising taxes. Shit that we do all day. Yeah. Shit went haywire. All races was out there with that the yellow jacket movement. Yeah. They don't play that shit out there. Like if they had what we had, it would be pandemonium out there. If they had to do what we have to do, pay for school, pay high taxes, have fucked up health care, health insurance, that most people, if you really had to use it, you would find out that it ain't shit. If you really had to use chemo, you can use chemo, but only 2 treatments.
No, but it's my thing. Like I just don't like when people be like, oh, in this country, they're gonna give you all the good shit that's going on in that country. Like during the prisons, they be like, oh, it's like rehab more than prison. Like, no, you're still in prison. You'll still get stabbed the fuck out of you. Don't make it seem like it's like, oh, they're there holding hands.
Like that. I think when we as Americans, we get brainwashed and the people beating on our head, oh, this is the greatest country in the world. So a lot of Americans, and I've been guilty of that, and I know other people, especially black people, want to call us out. We don't give a fuck what's going on in other countries. So we don't really know how they live and how their how their lifestyle is, their prison system or whatever, their economic system, because we're brainwashing and thinking the buck stops at America. This is the creme de la creme of the world. When other countries might be living better than us, but we don't take the time to research and become knowledgeable about how other societies are living. And and a great example is that, like, how many in here can name the president of France or the president of most European countries? Nobody. I bet all the motherfuckers know who the president of America is.
Because we're the fucking center of the fucking world.
Exactly. But in reality, we might not be. But here, while we in here, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. They brainwash us to think.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's why I said when other countries, they be like, "Oh, fuck America. Oh, we need shit. Hey, can y'all help us?"
They don't. They don't ask for America. They don't ask for American help. Not these countries.
No, not these countries.
We get something out of it. Yeah, you're supposed to get something out of it.
America has been mortgaged to the Saudis. And to the Chinese, yes. So we get a lot of help, but in the form
we get a lot of help ourselves.
But in the form of treasury bonds, like we mortgage our future to a lot of countries. That's why the Saudis to do what they do. Just kill the journalists.
Yeah,
I'm not saying we're the greatest. Hold on, let me clear this up.
The way you sound is you're saying.
No, I'm a patriot because I was in the military. I know what our country has done to us, but at the same time, I fucking did my part for this country to be free and have all our freedoms we have. And I've been to other countries teasing them like, y'all talk funny, fuck out of here. Like, we got the best English. Y'all invented English. We made it better.
But see, you one person.
You the worst fucking representative for America.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. You had the opportunity to be in the military and travel the world. I'm talking about people who in America ain't never been nowhere, don't know how nothing about no other country, and
don't
believe
that what you see on the internet. Everybody getting their information off of Facebook. I'm not saying everybody. I'm sorry. The vast majority of people that say stuff like that, I've seen the same memes you saw and the same little videos from whatever post you reposted it from. Like, like people like, oh wait, this and that in this country we do this, but you don't want to deal with the rest of the shit they got to deal with.
Well, that's just the opposite. If they in their country and they tell them shit about America, and you there, you gonna be like, yo, don't believe all the shit you hear about America. Like, that can go both ways. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
when people
no, I'm not telling them don't believe. I'm just saying don't believe. I'm not saying what he's saying is not true. I'm sorry. I'm not saying what he's saying is not true. I'm like, don't believe it just because it's on the internet.
I don't do that.
I don't proper research.
I don't think that's what he was saying.
I don't think that's what he was saying at all.
Listen, but that's the first thing I say. Don't believe because it's just on the internet. Like, if you came to like,
who's doing that?
Wasn't he just saying?
But he was trying to give a point about
He said,
I don't even know who finished. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think he never gave his point, dog.
I was never at all saying that, every country is better than America. I wasn't saying that.
I didn't say you were saying that.
But there are better certain countries out there, like in Europe, that are better off than us, I would say. And at the same time, they have a different way of doing their prison system. I wasn't saying that, like, there is in countries out there that it's like, of course it's shittier. I seen Thailand prisons and shit, African prisons and shit, Chinese shit. You don't even want to be in certain places where it's like the prisons and shit. Like I guarantee you, when you were in the military though, did they send you to like how many places? Where did they send you though? You know what I'm saying? Where were locations?
I've been somewhere everywhere. I've been to fucking Thailand. I've been to fucking every place you name, except for like European.
Yeah, and I said, and those sound like where they have the worst prisons.
Exactly.
And what he was talking about was European countries.
Exactly.
Okay, so moving forward.
Let me clear it up.
Okay.
Because a lot of people say, "Oh, I saw it on the internet." Blah blah blah. I'm like, how do you know what a fucking whatever prison is if you've never been there? Also on the internet. When did we stop believing everything on the internet? That's what I was saying. I was saying, "Oh, you wrong. Fuck you with your bald head and your glasses."
I'm not gonna lie, son.
I'm saying,
I'll keep it funky. That's exactly how it sounded.
That's what I was saying. Don't believe it on the internet. Y'all was like, "Oh, I didn't say America was."
Because he never said he got that from the internet either. That's something that you assumed. He never said that.
Yeah.
That's what he. Because everybody that posts that on the internet, they be like,
I know. Look, I know what you're saying.
In this country is. I'm like,
you're saying question the source of the information.
No,
thank you.
He's talking about from the documentary that he saw.
He never said no documentary.
You never
gave him a chance. You went right into the internet.
You talking about the Michael Moore shit, right?
Like everybody like,
son,
America ain't shit in this, but this country is
literally.
son,
we have
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying that that's where I went to. I was like,
it was just a miscommunication all at the end. That's just.
I'm like this.
I know when I'm wrong. I'm admitting I'm wrong. I'm just saying like that's what I was. That was the point I was trying to make.
This is why. This is why I said fuck him as far as going out of town.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, this is why I say that to him. So fuck you. What's next on the list?
Fuck you, staying home, nigga.
Exactly. I love
I hope
staying
your
home.
lights get turned off.
I got money.
I hope they don't take the money.
And I got candles.
I hope all them shits fucking smell like ass and cigarettes.
So, first of all, shout out to the United Atlanta team for bringing Atlanta their first championship, or Georgia their first state championship in 23 years in soccer. Shout out to them. Yes, soccer.
Let's stop acting like we watch soccer.
I do.
You just said soccer. It's called football.
It's called football.
I'm in America.
Fuck out of here.
Don't be that
I call
guy.
it soccer. I'm in America.
Don't be that guy.
Anywho,
because I watch soccer too.
Shout out to the strippers that was twerking next to the trophy. Shout out to y'all.
Where did I miss that?
Y'all, you missed that.
No, we ain't gonna talk about that.
So anywho,
what up,
yeah,
Saul?
shout out to them. But let's get into something lighter. Who do you think is the king of R&B?
Oh my God! I was hoping. I knew that was
me.
Hold on.
Me.
What are the categories?
Serenading
What
up?
I'm tired of people talking about,
all right, so let's
you can't
go.
say R. Kelly, but they be like, oh.
Why you can't say R. Kelly?
No, they were saying like R. Kelly because his background and his.
We're not talking about his personal life.
Thank you, and that's what I said. Like, well, they be like, oh, you can't say R. Kelly. Chris Brown. Didn't Chris Brown beat the shit out of bitches? Fuck out of here. Several bitches.
Hold on. Can I break this down?
That was a fight. That wasn't abuse to me. That was a fight.
Hey, can I break this down?
If you beat up a chick
Hold on. Go ahead, Josh.
Can I break this down? Are we talking about all-time King of R&B or just modern?
So
modern as in the last couple of years.
According to him, his statement was Jacquees. Yeah, he said he was the king of R&B
in this generation.
That's
He
what
didn't
he
say
said.
all time.
He said in this generation.
He's not even the king of this generation.
No, he's not. I agree.
He's not even king of this month.
This nigga's trash. Have you ever heard him sing?
I got something. He can sing.
No, he can't sing. No, he can't.
He can sing.
No.
I feel like he can hold a tune, but he tried too hard. Like when he tried to do the runs, like you not Boys the Men.
That motherfucker like,
oh yeah.
I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
His fucking mixtape was tough.
You gotta know your lane.
I didn't listen to that fucking Birdman shit he had.
And it has auto-tune on it. Why?
Thank you.
Why?
But he sings live all the time as well.
Like, I heard he
sings live on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he's not
that fucking whole the tripping shit was him.
I
You
know.
know what I'm saying? And that's a dope song, son.
Because I remember he did the little boot up shit, and then, it didn't.
I didn't hear it. It was terrible.
He did a boot up like.
It was terrible.
That shit was trash.
So why you just singing Elevation?
Oh man,
son, he don't sing none of his songs.
He did. He redid Chris Brown's whole song too.
That
I heard
shit
it.
is trash.
From what I heard about Jacquees, I heard he just do redos. I don't know if he has any original music. That's all I heard.
His mixtapes are pretty dope.
I don't know.
I'm not. He may be able to hold a tune, but what he does is not made for him. Like he be doing too much.
It's terrible.
So are we giving our opinion of who we think the modern king of R&B is?
Yeah,
well, if we're gonna do that, we gotta all go in a row then.
All right.
I'm gonna go first. Can I go first?
Sure.
And I'm not even an R&B guy. Don't get me wrong, but
I
I'm
know what
going
you listen to.
Duly noted.
I listen to 360 Mafia.
Fucking
Goonie tune. I'm going to say, as far as impact, hits from somebody who just an outsider looking in, I'm gonna throw out Bruno Mars. I think he's dope. I think he's the king. Now go ahead.
That's me.
And that's all time?
No,
No,
modern
this
generation.
generation.
Go ahead, Joe.
So who you calling Joe for this generation? Who you calling?
Don't bring up no Gerald Levert.
Nah, I'm talking about
Teddy Pendergrass.
Nah, you know what Joe gonna say?
He wanted.
But we talking about this generation though. This generation.
Yeah, we're talking about this generation.
Time out.
No.
Time out. Did
Go,
you say?
turn.
You said who is that?
Huh?
You said who is that?
No, I said, ew, how old are you?
This is the OG right here. This is the OG, man.
I like Teddy.
How old are you?
She got it.
That's
Old
me
enough to drink. So who you
I'm
calling?
44
Who
years
you
old.
calling for this
I'm
generation
44 years
though?
old.
Who
All
you
right,
calling?
I was a joke.
Fo.
Damn.
44.
You're 44. My mom
He
was
44.
46.
Good. Exactly.
Shit, my mama 60.
Keep living, you're gonna get older. Anyway, it's a beautiful thing. The age is hard. Anyway,
So who you got, Joe?
80s were pretty dope. God damn it.
You were around for that?
Dope, literally and
Yes.
I'm an 80s based word. I'm an 80s based.
Oh, Seth.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so
Me too.
Bruno Mars. All right, this generation. Talking about under 30.
No,
I would say the past couple years.
How about this?
Yeah.
3 to
It's
5
been
years.
out since at least 2000 until now. Let's put it that way.
Oh, 2000.
Yeah, let's go.
2010.
2002.
Oh, I thought we was doing the last
I mean,
couple years.
a generation is
I
technically
think
15
it's-
to 20 years.
Oh, okay. I gotta rethink that
Technically
then. My bad. I gotta
But
rethink.
yeah, go ahead.
Can I go,
Oh,
man?
No, Joe's going.
No,
He's still
Bruno Mars
thinking.
is fine.
2000. I mean, shit. I like Miguel.
There you go.
Okay, can I redo mine?
No.
No. Who you
Can you go
going?
all the way back to 2000?
Hold on, we got the resident music
thought we
experts
doing
in
like
the building.
Trap.
All right, so I look at
Nigga say,
you would look at sales, you would look at music output, and actually singing without using auto tune on majority of their songs.
Mm-hmm. Come on,
As far as how music has been evolving and everything, I gotta go with Chris Brown.
Okay, can I go?
Let everybody say something. Let everybody get something. Let everybody get
Damn,
something.
man. I want to change
No,
mine.
bro.
My bad. I had to say this. The ruler of R&B, though. The ruler.
I don't care about no Bobby Brown, bro. Get out
The
of here.
ruler is, to my opinion, is Beyonce.
Okay.
Yes.
Overall.
All right.
Yes.
We doing the king right now.
Yeah, but it sounds close to
Let me also say.
My bad.
Let me also say. When I think of the king of R&B, I'm thinking of somebody that doesn't cross over into hip hop or pop.
Exactly.
I'm thinking about like
R&B.
straight
Yeah.
R&B.
Jeez.
Joe,
Yes.
hard, Joe.
Right? That's yeah.
No, I got exactly.
I know exactly what I wanted to say then. I didn't know he was doing it like this.
So if we're gonna do straight R&B, damn dog, I might have to say.
Can I go?
I'm tied between Miguel and Usher.
I was gonna say Usher. That was wrong.
I knew that's what she was gonna say.
But
you can't go again. Fuck you.
You can't, and it's my turn. Don't disrespect me.
Usher did do pop,
Friend.
He did, and he kind of crossed over the.
Yeah, he
hip-hop
did.
side.
and so did Miguel.
Okay. Damn it.
I'm sorry.
Here.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We're not gonna talk after this.
That's fine.
Damn, bro. Y'all niggas don't listen to no instructions, bro.
At all.
Miami folk.
Damn.
Okay, so I don't care about the pop and all that stuff, crossover, I don't care. But I'm stuck between Chris Brown and Usher. But only because I feel like Chris Brown's like every year it's something. He putting out something. Usher had like a moment where he just took a break. He had stuff going on.
Still taking a break.
Yeah. So, but
I used to put out an album with,
he gave us a lot of bops, a lot of vibes. But
He
Chris
showed
Brown,
us
like
that
every year, Chris Brown is putting out some type of body of work and then forget his vocal ability. He's a performer. He's an entertainer. Yeah. And he can sing, do flips, like he really gives you a show. And that's not okay. Chris Brown, he does it every year. He does it every year though. Every year. Non-stop, he giving you something. So that's my pick. But only Usher because he was there first and he actually influenced Chris Brown. Chris Brown, look up to him.
Okay. Is my girl? Can I speak?
Yeah, but we could go.
Oh, shit. She smacked that shit in your face.
She fucking cock smacked me with that damn mic.
I didn't have to say it. Good job.
Put it on your forehead.
Oh, she always say wow.
Yeah, it was like
good job. Good job.
She made it up. She put her titty on it.
Mission accomplished.
Both of them now.
Now he
I'm gonna go with fucking Neo because Neo actually fucking sings.
I forgot about Neo.
And sings about love, and not singing about fucking all the time and singing about being in the club. He actually sings with substance.
You know what? I get
and
that
he writes bigger hits for
everybody,
bigger artists, and he still
he
writes his own joints.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm putting out there for Neo, and he's proud that he puts out, even though he put out songs for the ladies and being a gentleman. He's like, oh, he gay. That nigga gay. He ain't gay. That nigga got a nice hit list under his belt. Yeah. But he's, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get it to fucking Neo. He's like my favorite R&B dude right now. Like Usher was my guy till he started making, like he tried to appeal to young niggas and shit and be wearing skinny jeans and shit. Neo wearing.
What dance are you doing?
I didn't know what that was.
Don't know what it is.
Oh yeah, that's him. And all the songs we put out for other artists, all of those songs become hits too.
And he's like, isn't he like the talent leader of Motown now or something?
Yeah, he's like, he's
big
like,
man in charge of Motown.
Yeah, so I rock with Neo. I think Neo's the king of R&B right now.
You still
and he's not always in your face. He's not in fucking Sprite ads and all kind of wild shit. The nigga make an album like I'm about to go fuck my wife and raise my kids. Niggas not in doing Hennessy commercials like drink Hennessy niggas and rapping and shit like the nigga. He sings. He does fucking vocals. Okay. He does fucking does singer shit. He's a crooner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I fuck with Neo.
Damn, I vote for him too.
Alright.
I agree with that.
Good choice.
Now for me, it's like a real hard choice between like three people that I actually kind of fuck with. One of them I fucked with him when he first came out because.
Let me say something real quick.
What?
That thermal was first.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, swag.
Fuck that. It's Duke Blue. Fuck that.
Alright, whatever. So when like first one Trey Songz, because when he first came out, I always thought he was dope. What killed me with Trey Songz is when he started like cursing way too much. And
thank you.
You like, girls suck my dick. I'm like, bro, what is
bitches eat my ass? What song is this?
I love God. Like, what the fuck?
I love song.
Yo, like,
I love fucking your mouth, bitch.
Exactly. Like, when that nigga started saying shit, Mr. Studio Girl, I said, yo, fuck this nigga. Yo, yeah, if I put like this, T, you watching this shit too. That nigga say anything to you, I'm stuffing them. I don't give a fuck. Real talk.
Hey, TT.
If that nigga started serenading my
we had a whole episode on that, son.
Yes! We full circle. The name of the episode was like, yo,
go to Trey Songz.
Don't let Trey Songz fuck your girl, yo. Like, fuck that. Because some nigga killed himself because Trey Songz fucked his girl.
Twice.
Yes.
Two niggas did that shit.
Yes.
And the nigga was in the NFL. He's like,
you laughed on the inside, kid. You laughed on the inside.
What? And that's the reason why he said
Trey Songz, the nigga killed his girl, then killed himself because he thought she was fucking Trey Songz.
Exactly.
Oh, the NFL
second nigga that did it.
I don't know about.
And one was like a boxer.
I thought she went to a concert.
Thank you.
She went to a concert.
Listen, I don't want no nigga with that power.
She went to a concert.
I want no
nigga.
This is his girlfriend.
It wasn't fucking though.
No, he was like, it doesn't matter.
She went to a concert.
It doesn't matter.
You go to a fucking
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Listen, future
we ain't gonna talk about it.
We go to a Trey Songz concert.
Have you seen him on stage? What he does to the girls on stage?
Yes,
Trey Songz? Yes.
He do a lot.
Yo, Trey Songz be out here fingering them chicks.
This nigga singing to your girl, jerking off on her face.
Finger popping her. He was like,
Mom, you tell me, I'm like, fuck like this. Get all your shit, leave. Don't come back. Stay at that
Like,
concert.
bottoms up, bottoms up. Let me feel your butt. Let me put my dick all up in your gut. Like, yo, that's not the words, dog.
I love that.
And the nigga smacking niggas at his show. The nigga be fighting niggas. The nigga jump in the crowd and fight niggas at the show. So that nigga's the Mano of R&B.
So my second choice, and this is somebody that I feel like nobody really talks about anymore, was The Dream. I thought The Dream was dope, yo.
I think he's an R&B.
I think he's a better producer.
Yeah.
I've heard one R&B song for him.
I Love Your Girl is like my favorite song ever.
I ain't gonna, that whole album was kind of dope.
Really like,
nah, that whole album was dope.
I love Your Girl.
No.
Yeah,
Your Girl. Yeah, I remember that song. That shit was dope.
I love it.
Like,
yeah, the whole song
those
was
are like
about fucking somebody.
Yeah. That was my shit. Niggas don't ever talk about this nigga no more. Tyrese.
He don't put nothing out.
Yeah, it's been a while.
He don't.
And let's be honest, he may have, a good voice, but he always be like whining, like.
And he another one worried about putting out a rap album. Like, nigga,
Yeah,
the fuck?
right.
Like, that's like
Is she
Music
on
Soul
the job?
Child. Like, I think Music Soul Child is so dope, but you don't never hear from him. He's just never in the spotlight.
I saw him perform live, and he wasn't as dope.
Yeah, how the fuck you got my phone?
Who you got?
Yeah, who you got? Because Josh, I know Josh will change.
Frankie. Yeah, I want to change mine again.
Frankie Beverly. Movado.
Justin Bieber. I was
Buju. Buju free.
Dread.
Buju free.
It come back from a fire.
On the air.
So I don't really listen to R&B like that, but
Little young nigga.
I'm serious. Come on.
Don't do him like that.
You fucked this Kodak
Techno,
Black.
anyway.
You're probably serious.
I'm serious.
That nigga fucked the Kodak Black.
Little Uzi Squirt.
Nah, bro, nah. I don't listen. No.
Kodak
Well, I'm just trying to
I had to 3 6
understand. Like,
Mafia and that shit.
would John Legend be considered?
Yeah.
I was gonna say John Legend.
So
Good choice.
That's who I was. That's who I was.
that's a great choice.
Like, that motherfucker. He's a male Alicia Keys, I think.
I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't think about it, but I feel you.
He also wrote most of Lauryn Hill's great album.
Really?
Education.
I did not know that. Oh,
Why did you know this?
That's
so
why
dope.
she can't repeat.
It's in his
Oh,
name.
yeah.
He wrote
John
the whole
Legend.
album.
That's crazy.
That was him.
You know what? Because she ain't made no album since. So.
That's her
No.
only album.
Well,
That's
I mean,
why.
she just
That was
got
that
out
was
of
him.
that to be
Yo, she out here
100%.
canceling and coming like she out here coming late to shows. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember she canceled that whole show.
But that whole
No, she didn't cancel it. She
One
came.
She
came
kicked
out
the 30
for-
minutes, like,
Yeah.
right? She kicked
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Yeah. If you're planning on going to her New Year's Eve party, don't.
I'm not. What about? I feel like people. What about the dude Tank?
I was just about to say that he came back with a banger last.
He's definitely
That's the only song I know
shown
is
resilience.
I got that song.
He's shown
When
resilience.
we fuck. Remember
Oh,
that
what's
shit?
mine?
Listen,
I
I
didn't
don't
trust
fuck
you
with
for that
R&B
song.
niggas that curse.
I didn't
Like,
trust
R&B
you
is
for
not
that
for you to
song.
be fucking cursing.
I feel like
I
it's
agree,
necessary.
but
sometimes.
that
And
song, it
song,
fits
it was
with that
very
song.
necessary.
I'm like this.
That's that savage. That savage shit.
R. Kelly
Yeah,
was cursing.
I like
He was
that
cursing
too.
back in the '90s. So
This nigga was in Africa talking about how many of y'all got child passports.
yeah, I saw that. Who wants to come back with Robert? I said, that ass.
He like
R.
that.
Kelly.
He had a background singer singing.
Yeah.
America.
I want to say I can't, yo.
I do
Not
too.
even on the
Now,
shit
but
that
listen,
he's
now
done.
every time he posts something, somebody be like, bro, why you not in jail? Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's to the point where it's like, all right, dog.
I ain't gonna lie. Like overall, king of R&B from my lifetime is Robert Kelly.
Nah, for me.
I mean,
I'm not agree with you.
I just can't.
But you can't say it, and people are like, oh, nigga, he raped. Like,
yeah, I'm only 27 years old, but I've yet to see anybody else make a whole 27 songs about just story time. Like all them. It's like 32 closet.
in the closet.
And it's like a whole story.
Yeah,
like
when that
everything
shit
is
came out,
connected.
that was
The
my
shit
shit.
makes
That shit's
sense.
a
Like, and you
That
made
was
it
my shit.
melodic. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's sad that he's so
genius.
talented.
That's
He's so
genius.
controversial at the same time.
That's it.
It's
The
sad.
most talented artist
song
are.
is fucking I wish.
But I ain't going to that nigga house though.
You better not go to that. If you go to his house, you better wear a ring.
Great
Okay?
house.
You
Michael
better wear a
Jackson.
ring.
My sons ain't going there. They're gonna go there. You know, that's how it goes.
Yeah, you gonna hang out with Michael Jackson?
Not
Listen, like I tell people, I don't want to meet none of my heroes because if you meet Superman, you gotta meet fucking Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Like, I don't meet Jay-Z and that nigga come and he doing some weird shit. I'm like, come on,
look at that baby legs.
You was a fucking man. I want to know Jay-Z as Jay-Z. I don't need to meet Sean Carter.
Oh man,
I understand it.
But Sean Carter might wear a thong and shit. Maybe.
Past that. I don't want to think about that.
It's called male G-string.
I mean, I was gonna say, as far as like some of these newer rappers that came out, not rappers, but singers that came out probably like the past 3 or 4 years. You got your Bryson Tillers, you got the Dude Black. It's spelled with 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
Even though you don't really, I mean, some people probably don't care for The Weeknd. I think The Weeknd is dope.
I think the songs.
I think The Weeknd is dope. I just think every song he's singing about drugs.
So
yeah,
okay, all right,
that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, shit. Back in the day, we talking about the Sandra. They were talking about wild shit back then.
White Lines.
Exactly. I play that at work.
That's my shit. Like
I play that at work. Have y'all never heard that?
You know, it's my favorite album to study to, the Chronic album. I'm doing like orgo to that. It was just like
about Dr. Dre?
It ain't no fun if the homies can't have none.
That was explosive.
Yo,
that shit was the most like eat a
dick,
bitch.
No, that's 2001. You talking about 2001
I know.
or the original?
The original.
Oh, the original.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Because I was gonna think about the 2001. And I was like,
can't have none.
Yeah.
Nah, he got that.
If I ever gave a fuck
Drop
about it,
the
bitch.
top,
that was Dog Pound. I mean,
But they was like back to back, so it's like hard to. It's easy to get them mixed up.
And let me ride. Hell yeah! I had to tell them where that song came from because people was asking, "What song is that?" I'm like, "That's from Mothership Connection from Parliament."
Yeah,
I had heard the original, but I couldn't remember the
Mothership Connection, baby.
Look, you already know I'm the music.
I've been told him you need to go and name that tune, man.
Bro, you need to go on Shazam.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I told him that.
I went. I'll definitely.
I'm going on Jeopardy and Pyramid. I'm working on it.
Sad part is, I'm good at Jeopardy too.
I love that shit.
I'm going on Who Wants to Fuck a Regular.
I did that on a date night and I beat.
You talking about Black Ink?
I sit in the chair like, Who Wants to Fuck a Regular nigga?
I can't. All right.
You do? Come on.
So, I do want to take this opportunity just to say shout out to Miss Gabrielle Union with her transparency. I don't use profanity often on here, but fuck all you trolls who got
What do you mean you don't use profanity? You
often. I said often.
Oh, you curse a lot.
You curse a lot on here.
Anywho,
anytime you got
fuck
something
all
to say,
you
you
trolls
like, fuck that.
that got all this negativity surrounding her. Like, y'all got miserable lives. Find something else.
So,
what was the negativity about?
Explain the story.
Confused.
So, you know, she and Dwayne Wade recently had their daughter, Kavia, I think. But they used a surrogate because she was unable to birth children. She had tried everything. She had like 9 miscarriages in the time that they've been dating.
Using IVF, right?
Yeah, IVF.
Well, you got his side chick pregnant, so.
Moving forward, because they move forward, so whatever.
They should have went back and got that kid.
I'm sure that child hangs with him as well.
Great point.
So yeah.
On Instagram.
So anywho, they a lot of people. The first picture she posted, she was in the delivery room, and she was in a hospital bed, and she was holding the baby like to her skin. Normal shit. That's how mothers bond with their children, skin to skin contact. And people were like, "Why are you acting like you the important one? You didn't give birth." Like they were like saying awful shit to her, like awful shit.
So you about to leave, son? That's how bad. Oh, okay. I'm about to say that's bad.
So and since then, like every decision that she's made, like there's a rumor, it hasn't been confirmed, but there's a rumor that when Oprah Winfrey came to interview her in her home, she requested that everyone that was going to be in the home get the whooping cough vaccination before they enter the home. That was her request. Now. They didn't have to do it. That's number one. But number two, I don't understand why people feel the need to attack her for that. Because as far as I know, unless things have changed, when whoever lives in the house made the decision to do it, like, respect her wishes. That's her child. She worked 10 years to get this one baby.
Yeah.
What?
Well, we know how you feel about vaccine.
But it's her child.
That shit was whack. I have children. I've never met anybody who had woman cough. I mean, to me, it's ridiculous. My opinion.
But you're talking about a woman who
she does not want to risk losing a child.
I'm only dealing with my opinion.
Yeah.
That's a little ridiculous, but I mean, they don't have the interview then. Have it outside the house.
No, but if I'm a mother and I'm excited to be a mom, I get pregnant, feel my baby, boom, miscarriage. And had it happen 9 times, you taking every shot to be around my child that I got. And I went through 9 miscarriages of knowing that I created life.
Yeah.
And then the life is gone. And you can do the interview, but
everybody in the house.
Anyone that comes
then why have it at your house?
Get that shot.
Put it like this. To me, it's not because
this is where my child is going to be. I just had a child.
Yeah,
and I'm going to give you an interview, but if you want to come and get an interview,
and Oprah didn't have to.
And she didn't have to, but what happened when they got the shot, though?
I understand the emotionality behind it, but put it like this. For me, nobody's coming to my house to visit my child. None of my children within the first 2-3 weeks to a month. First of all. Second of all, it's not about whether I understand she had miscarriages, all right? My mother's had miscarriages. I have 5. There's 5 of us. She had 12 pregnancies. I get all of that. But my thing is that, to me, I don't even believe in vaccinations. First of all, they're totally useless. Now, so that's why I'm kind of against it. But then again, it's like more importantly, you're a new mother. Why just celebrate your baby with yourself? You want to put yourself out there for the book. For the book.
Not just for the book.
That's why she did the interview.
No, and that's what she said on the interview. She had already said, because she's not upset about what people are saying. She addresses specifically those people who have negative things to say, because she said a lot of the statements that people make, they make it because they're uneducated, and she's wanted to use that opportunity to educate those people. And if you look at her responses, they are well thought out and well educated. That was her MO when addressing these people, period. So, I mean, and that's all she said. That's also why she wanted to do the interview. Because she can promote the book. She could have waited to promote the book. I mean, the book been out. Like,
but if you see her on social media, she always going back and forth with people on social media. Like,
that's from an educational standpoint, which was her
That's
purpose.
ignorant to me, too. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you actually birthed that child, I think, you know how people like kind of like almost like giving something? They don't respect the process. So it's like, again, I'm speaking as a father. I don't allow people in my house. What's more important to you? To have the interview or have your child? It's not about just whooping calls. There's a whole lot of things people can bring to the table, to your house, to the child. It's not even good or healthy to have all gangs. You know, people got to come to your house for a fucking interview with Oprah? You got to have at least 12, 15 people around your child. I don't even want... My sisters can't come to my house in the first month. Period.
I think,
you know what I'm saying? That's the thing. The parents,
right?
The parents and the child.
But
that's it.
That's your process. There are some people that would say it's crazy to say, "Oh, well, your family can't come over." Some people would take that standpoint as well. That's her standpoint, and she's perfectly within her right to do that. However, she feels that she needs to do it because she went through 9 miscarriages. She went through the process. This is what she got. She earned that child. Whether she birthed that child or not, she went through 10 years of pain to get this one child.
Can I say something? I feel like it's a slippery, I want to use slippery slope between being a mother, but also a celebrity in that situation, because you kind of put yourself out there in an interview or whatever for people to ridicule you. Once you're a celebrity, you put your life out there, people are going to ridicule you whether you agree with it or not. Right. So, I mean, that just comes with the territory.
And she welcomes that. It's not her that's saying y'all need to stop. It's other people that are looking on like myself is like, y'all just miserable.
Yeah,
like,
but on the flip side, people need to understand that as a mother, if the parent is not harming their child, who are we to question their methods, what they feel is the best and protect interests of their child? How are we going to judge them for what they feel as a parent is in the best interest of their child's health and well-being? So it's one of those things where you putting yourself out there, you're a celebrity, and people going to have opinions about how you do things, but at the same time, who are we to question parents about how they feel is in the best interest of the child as well?
Doesn't make any sense, though.
It doesn't. But you know what, though?
Doesn't make any sense.
That's the thing. It's not supposed to make sense to you.
It doesn't have to because it's not your child.
Yeah. Like, and you're right. It's not supposed to make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, but it ain't my kid. So, I mean, whenever I have kids, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just ask my grandmother, what should I do? Yeah. And I'll go, whatever she's, Sean, do this. All right. If she says, what we did with you was jump off a building with you in our arms to see what happens. And I'm like, okay, come here, little baby. Mwah! And I'm jumping off the building. Like,
oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean at the end of the day, it's all subjective.
People like that, you want to, quote unquote, educate people like everybody else is stupid. But at the same time, not educated about the harm of vaccinations either.
I mean,
it's like which one?
She's well informed. Her best friend didn't vaccinate her child, so I'm sure that she's well informed. I mean, that was her decision.
She's in, okay. I'm not bashing Gabrielle Union. I'm just talking about if you're gonna do that, again, everyone's showing their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna, it's like disjointed. It's like when you do something, it should be all around, all across the board. It should make sense. I just wouldn't do an interview with my child there, and I would do it in another site. That's for me. But again, like you said, that's her right. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
And if it doesn't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Well, it makes dollars, so.
Never mind.
What we got next?
All right, so
anything else on the docket?
Yeah, we got a couple other things.
We're going through these topics today.
We are, and I'm excited. I'm really happy about it.
Wait up, before we even go any further, Ashley, how was your week?
How was my week?
Yeah, because
this Ashley. We didn't even introduce you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Everybody, whoever listens to this and watching it, this is Ashley. Don't know
other Ashley, not the. We got two Ashley.
Yeah, it's usually Ashley that's on this show. So
Josh about to run out.
Yeah, you about to. That's why to stop him. No, because what we usually do. I mean, you're not really a part of our crew like that, but we usually ask each other. I mean, you're not. I'm just being honest.
It was on the first episode. This is your second episode.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. You know, we usually ask everybody how their week, what they got, anything going on. You might have something going on that you might want to tell us about, or something you might want to promote. So I'll give you this time real quick so you can go ahead and do that.
Oh, my week was fabulous. It was amazing.
Yeah. What you do? What's up?
I'm a mom. I have 5 kids. No, just saying.
I was about to say, what the fuck? I'm like, are they all at once? Is it? Damn.
I always say mine.
You never met a condom.
No. I hate him. He gets on my nerves.
Yo. I was about to say, what the fuck? Like, damn.
I hate y'all so much.
He's crying. But go ahead, continue.
No, work was fine. It's completely different from what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But I'm adapting.
How long you been here?
A couple months, right?
Not 2 months now. 3 months.
I'm just asking. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think. I came
give it a stank face.
14th of October.
Yeah, you did have a couple months.
About 2 months.
Yeah, about
And that's what I was wondering, because I don't really get to see you at work because you're on checkpoint. I'm on baggage. So from time to time, I will, if I ever see you, actually, how's everything going? How you liking the area and all that? Because I know you was trying to find out things to do, things like that. No, actually.
What guy says that? You say that to me?
No, I'm saying I don't see you, so I don't get to ask you this stuff.
Oh, I thought you said you say that to me. I'm like,
no, I don't ever get to see you.
Speak to me.
I don't, because I don't come upstairs. No, I'm just saying, I just want to make sure, you're good, you're properly acclimating to the area, because I know.
I'm not, but I'll do.
And that's usually what happens. It's different.
It's completely different.
The whole swag is different.
Everything.
You're not used to people talking to you and saying hello and all that shit.
And then
people being nice.
You have an accent, and I'm like, no, you don't have an accent, but
you
I do have one.
Yeah.
And then I'm not used to that.
I don't hear it.
Yeah, I don't hear it either. What?
Because you're from Florida. So of course you wouldn't hear it. Yeah, bro. I don't know, bro. Bro, every time I'm like, yo, Terrell, he says some smart shit, and then he'll say something. I'm like,
you just flush all that down the toilet.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, dog. Look,
oh man,
always end on a high note, dog. End on a high note, G. I was like, shit.
Nah, bro. See, in music theory, it's best to end on the low mode because it creates some type of emotion with like music psychology. If you notice, a lot of hit songs, a lot of the melodies start off high. It's like a question, and then it really goes down low for the answer.
See, that's you ending on a high note. Thank you.
Mic drop.
Good job.
Mic
I like that. But no, like I said, I was just wanting to make sure everything is good.
But I do one day. I have to think of a day I would like to do a game night.
Hey, let us know.
We do that.
And you got phase 10?
We're gonna have all of that. Cars being
I was playing Old Maid.
I want to do karaoke.
Oh, really?
Yes,
What?
but it's different karaoke.
Okay.
It's like, the little small fish bowls. Yeah. So like everybody will write their name, fold it, put it in the fish bowl. Then you'll write like different songs that you might want, like 2 or 3.
Okay.
And you fold it up, put in another fish bowl. So then you'll pick. So say you pick your name or his name, and then they'll have to sing and then pick a song. So you don't know, you can't practice what song you're gonna pick.
Oh wow.
Whoever.
That's kind of like the Jimmy Kimmel show. And they like throw that, like sing
Okay.
like this.
So I already know what mine gonna be.
So what night
You
would
don't
that
know.
be on?
You don't.
But I have to see because
Slob
everybody
on
has
out.
different off days.
Yeah.
And
What's yours?
Say slob on.
I'm off Monday, Tuesday,
Slob
but I
on
don't
out.
care.
And you're a PM.
Yeah, but I don't care.
We got the same day.
I have a location. I have everything, but I just want to make sure that it's not a waste of time. Cause if I set up stuff and I cook, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Oh no,
nigga, we
ain't gotta worry about that. This our game night.
Yeah,
man. All this shit.
I hosted 2. If there's food there, I know 3 people right here that would definitely be there. Look, 4, not 4 now. These niggas is gonna be there.
I'm make brownies tonight for you guys.
Yeah,
I made brownies for him.
I told everybody you making brownies. You
started
making
brownies.
brownies.
I had to do a lot of stuff.
That's fine.
But I'm gonna bake brownies. I like to cook a lot.
That's what's up.
So, and my food good.
Well, you know what? That's cool because like on the last episode, we didn't get a chance to really get to know much about you other than the fact that you're from Miami.
Miami, Liberty City, which you have.
Your family like American, or you just like American?
Yeah, my family's from the Bahamas.
Yeah, there you go. That's the question people kept asking me when I was down there. They're like, "So what are you?" I'm like, "I'm black." No, what are you? Are you Haitian, Jamaican, Cuban? What are you? Like, what are you? And I'm like,
because you have black Cubans.
Exactly. And I'm like, I'm American black for most I know. I don't know.
Is Uncle Luke Bohemian Jamaican?
Yeah,
Jamaican.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
All right.
You guys don't have a lot. Like I can't find like a good
Contributions?
island.
Conference.
Yeah, you like them?
Ooh, with the sauce, make the sauce too.
Hold on, who what?
Confritters.
You never. Oh no, don't.
You never had a comfort.
I'm gonna take him down to Miami in March, so he'll get.
Wait.
Learn today.
Hey, hold on. Ain't conflict aphrodisiac?
Sean, wait, I'm gonna go when you guys go. I'm gonna go.
That's all right.
Really? You gonna go down there?
Yeah, I'm
Make sure you get some chicken sauce too.
I'm gonna get some pickles back.
Oh, please bring some pickles. Oh.
You said some pickles.
Garcia sauce.
See that motherfucking lasagna.
Hold on. Y'all said some pickles. What?
No.
Stop. You know what? Let's pickles keep going.
It's like you know sauerkraut.
Terrell.
He's never
Terrell. Don't even. We'll explain it to him later.
Say what's up.
Kia, what else you got on the docket? Thank you, though, Ashley. Thank you.
This is something I didn't get an opportunity to bring up from the last show, but I just wanted to hear y'all's opinion on it. This idea of the quote unquote ride or die shit.
Ride or die chick?
Yeah, so I just wanted to know, as guys, people with penises, I hope.
You hope.
I don't like making assumptions.
I think I got one.
So I just wanted to know what y'all's definition of a ride or die is, because I see women getting. I know you will. I see a lot of women getting flack for having what I think are just standards. And let me finish. Before they say theirs. Say your standards first too. Okay.
Standards like yeah.
So I feel like then because a person doesn't prefer where that person is or a woman doesn't prefer where that man is in life, or maybe what he has to offer is like, oh well, you ain't down, blah blah blah, XYZ, yada yada yada. Like I see a lot of it. Like recently there was a post where a dude invited a girl over and he had like spaghetti. Chicken.
Oh yeah,
that shit. And the spaghetti was like in the Neapolitan tubs, like and the chicken was on like some public sales paper, the big tubs.
The ice cream.
No.
Napoleon ice cream.
He put it in there, right? So when the girl showed up, apparently she left because she was like, "Damn, you ain't got no place like that's fucked up." So she left. So a lot.
It cost 99 cents.
There were some people who were like, "Oh, well, she not really down. She too bougie, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Damn, it's too much to ask for a place out here now. Like, it's crazy." So okay, hold on one second. So for me, I can't stand him.
What's up, Nash?
For me personally, I think that my standards change depending on where I am in life. Overall, my point of view is I can't ask you to bring to the table more than what I have to bring to the table. That's the way that I look at it. It doesn't mean that I would rule out someone who doesn't bring everything that I bring to the table, but I feel like I can't ask for more than that, in my opinion. I can't expect more than that, in my personal opinion. So, I mean, right now, I don't think I'm asking for too much. I need you to have some ambition. I need you to understand that I'm on my grind, so you need to be on yours, okay? That means I ain't about to stay up on the phone with you every night for 2 hours. I gotta work, I gotta study, I got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? I need you to understand that. I need you to have some plates at your house, bruh. We old enough to have some plates at your house. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. And I need you to be able to take care of your damn self. Like, I don't need you to be fucking me right so you can have a place to stay tonight. I'm not looking for that shit. Like, I'm not.
Is that wrong?
Some people feel that way. Some people feel that way. And I understand some women stick around. Some women, oh, we gonna help. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna get this done. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna support you, and that's great. And for those who can, that's wonderful. But for me, I've been a support system for people since I was like 16 years old. I've been paying bills in my house, my mother's house, and my brother's house. I ain't trying to support nobody right now. I'm selfish.
Listen, I agree with everything you say. Stop fucking broke niggas, yo. Broke niggas. How long have I been saying this? You don't got no money in the bank, you don't deserve no pussy.
Oh,
fuck out of here. You don't got nothing to do all day.
What's that other
fuck
shit you say?
We
Niggas
say
that treat a queen like a bitch and a bitch like a queen. Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like, if niggas ain't got it, you're gonna know they ain't got it.
They don't give them no pussy. Stop fucking broke.
But when I saw that picture, and, you know, I grew up in the hood, yo. So when I saw it, I'm looking like, oh, that's Friday night at my mom's house. So that didn't even bother me. It was chicken on the newspaper, and it was the spaghetti in the little whatever bullshit bowl, because you're gonna put it in whatever bowl you got. You know what I'm saying? That I grew up that way. Am I saying that's right? No, but I grew up that way. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. If you're a grown ass man, women can do whatever. Women are gonna do. If you're a grown man and you out here trying to find quality women are fucking bum ass niggas. Like you gotta know if you're a bum ass nigga. So like, if you're not trying to do nothing with your life, you wake up in the morning like, oh, let me see who I can try to fuck today to sleep on her couch and have a place to sleep. Like she said, you're a bum ass nigga. If you're not out here grinding, it's not easy out here. But if you're not even trying, you don't deserve no pussy. And these are dudes that got all day to fuck because what else they got to do?
All right,
we'll call bitches all day and fucking.
I ain't gonna lie, them niggas get
What you doing?
What you doing?
Yo,
what you doing?
I'm gonna keep it funny though.
Use your phone?
Them niggas got way more pussy than I did.
Because we're at work. We're at work.
Yeah.
We're trying to build. We're trying to do positive things in the world.
Now let me ask you something, Sean.
And they're getting gorgeous, beautiful, top-notch women because we at work. Like I don't got time to be.
Let me ask bro something.
Thank you.
Do you think that's something like with the whole spaghetti in the bowl shit or whatever? Do you think that's something?
I mean, she was literally attacked for expecting plates.
Do you think that's something that you should do if that's the first date or later on down the line, and you be like,
yo, later on down the line. But
I'm saying like you might be a situation like, baby, I had bills to pay. I can't even afford to get no place right now. Yo, that's what I got right now.
If it's a first date and you paid all your bills and you ain't had that extra money,
she got
your priorities messed up.
You need to focus on getting your money up.
Push it back. I ain't got it right now. Listen, we can have a phone date. What's up? You trying to FaceTime? You trying to Skype? Like, push that shit back.
I mean, it's not like he went out and eat.
Right.
He could have cooked half the food that he prepared and had paper
Dollar
plates as well.
General at fucking Dollar Tree.
That was a whole weekly pack.
You never think you had 99 cents to get plates?
So my question is, somebody that's in a struggle at the moment, say they for 2 years, should they not have female company?
No.
No.
Focus on what the fuck you need to do.
2 years.
Because you fuck around. Hold on. You fuck around and get her pregnant. And you ain't got shit going on, but she pregnant. And you ain't got shit.
Nobody pregnant.
I'm not saying don't get it. I'm not saying
let me answer that.
Deserve
have 3 plans.
You don't deserve it.
Because when I got fired from the White House,
and I told you didn't deserve no pussy. When I do not have a job, I said I don't deserve none. I'm gonna overachieve and get it. I'm not gonna.
Oh no!
That shit make the day go by fast.
Oh, I deserve me some pussy. Fuck that.
You did.
Yes, I did. Son,
you didn't deserve it.
I think it's right. I think if a woman sees that, like as a man, we have standards. There's certain men that don't like certain things.
Exactly.
But we're not necessarily judged for that. Like there's men that don't like chicks with weaves or don't like people go to their house and it's messy. There's one men that don't like that either, right? I think she should expect some place or presentation though, because to me a lot of times with money it's like a man's humanity is based on his money. Like things that men think a certain way when they don't got it, and it right. Yeah. Like somebody's broke, they don't like you don't think the same when you want to struggle. Like when I got it, I don't feel like I never really didn't have it at all. But when I got it, I'm not thinking necessarily the same way. My humanity's not gonna fuck me up. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were in a household where everybody's broke, you worry about the rent getting paid, you don't think the same way. It don't even feel the same. So me, I make money. I make sure I make sure my household is running well because the humanity gets in the way. When you want to struggle or how we gonna pay this power bill, you can't go out the same way. So on that level, you should be trying to get it. Everybody should be trying to get it so your shit is running smoothly. And I think if the woman saw that, she's like, yo, I'm not doing that because I know what it is to be broke, and I ain't trying to do that with that dude because it's gonna get fucked up. Love is a lie, right? Yeah. It's all about the business. But
yeah, potential only goes so far.
But that's what Gucci Mane said. When they asked him, they were like, "Why are you? What makes it so easy for you to love Kesha Kill or something like that?" And he was like, "Oh, money." And so everybody was like, "Oh, what you mean?" And he was like, "I mean, our bills stay paid. Like we got stacks in the bank, so it's easy for me to focus on just loving her because we ain't worried about them issues. We ain't worried about how the bills gonna get paid."
And that's what great people love because
50%.
I would say at the same time, you know, I feel like guys don't just think like that at all. We don't look at if a girl's in a situation, we are more inclined to help them out.
Yeah, but there are other expectations. But see, what I'm saying, there are other expectations that are placed on women. It's just not that. You're right.
But like, I'm just saying, it's like, I agree with you, Kia, that some like as a woman.
He was like, let me start with that.
Let me start with that for real, bro. I agree with you. I don't like personally. I believe that no girl should be with some like a jealous like a bum ass nigga or some shit like that.
Guess what?
But at the same time,
bum ass niggas always got bitches.
Because they got time.
Exactly.
Those who got time,
we say they're not supposed to be with them. But guess who they
all
are?
Have the money. Those have the money don't have the time.
Go ahead, Oz.
But at the same time, though, it's like, I've seen it to where it's like chicks don't have stuff and they always ask their man for stuff and stuff like that. I believe it's the same situation where it's like, if you got money as a man, you shouldn't deal with that kind of stuff either.
I mean, that's your prerogative, if that's what you choose to do. And I said, as I say, I'm not going to ask any man to do what I can't do for myself. Because at the end of the day, it's about security for me as well. Because my mom always told me, make sure you got your own shit. Because when that nigga start acting up, pack his shit and get the fuck on.
Exactly.
That's why I be like, yo, if your name is not on the lease, you homeless, man. Fuck out of here.
Verbatim.
I got sisters. I don't want nobody trying to move in my sister's crib. I'm like, what the fuck you doing here? 2 nights in a row. Then you gotta go the fuck home.
I ain't signing no legal documents and we ain't got no commitment.
Don't be fucking niggas just for nuts. You better get more than that. Fuck out of here.
I want to get back to the original question.
Yeah, what's your definition of erotic?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's all right.
Thank you, John.
Nobody answered that. My definition.
Hold on. This nigga here. Jesus.
My definition of a ride or die chick is when we riding, everything is going good.
And she
bills are paid, like you said, and everything is going great. But let's say we stand together and I get laid off from my job. Are you going to walk out on me, or are you going to try to hold me down until I get back on my feet? Or if I gain a couple pounds, or if you gain a couple pounds, am I going to stick with you because your looks aren't the same? Huh?
Oh shit!
Everybody gonna have that limit. I don't know.
Let me stop. I ain't gonna do that. You're saying like you guys are dating?
No, I'm talking about
or
when I say ride or die.
Established and like we're in a relationship and you're my boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend.
My definition of a ride or die chick. We were talking about the initial meeting.
But which one?
I'm talking about in a relationship.
Okay.
All right,
that's that. I feel like you can only be a ride or die chick if you're in a relationship.
Nowadays, especially with social media in our generation, they expect all of this when you're dating.
Right now, I'm talking about a relationship.
You know that it's sad, but that's what it is. So they want you to. Like me, I'm different. So I'm a mother, and my kids come first. Yeah. So if you're dating me, the first thing I'm looking for is a provider because I have a family. So you're coming into now a blended family. So you have to be able to do things that a man or a head of household should be able to do. Right. So so I can do it by myself, but now you're coming apart. You're blending with me.
You can't be a detriment to your situation.
Yeah, you can't. Like I'm not taking care of you.
I understand that.
I already have children.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be a third child.
What do you expect though? Like what you come to a man comes to your life.
So with me, what I feel like I bring, number one, I take care of home. home comes first. Because in order for my kids have to be good, I have to be good for them to be good. So then I'm taking care of the household, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I go to work. I'm not in school now, but next year I'll be in school. So it's different things that I have to take care of. So what are you doing?
So
I can make the table, put the food on the table, take it off and clean it. And what are you doing? So for me, I need a man to, like I said, be a provider.
I got a question.
Be a protector. I'm not done. Be a protector.
No, I'm about to say that because are we still talking about
yeah,
ride or die?
Yeah,
I was because I feel like we keep going off.
Listen, I need you to be a provider, protector, and just hold me down emotionally, spiritually. I need that for that balance. So for me, ride or die is just ride with me the whole entire time through and through, and we can get to our end goal. If our end goal is marriage, or just to figure out what's gonna happen eventually if you want to marry me or just be with me. You know, some people, they don't really believe in marriage, but they like the idea, the values of the qualities of it, but they don't want to necessarily walk down the aisle. They don't want to be in church. They don't want that, but they want the benefits of being married. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we can ride. You have downfalls, I'm gonna be there. I'll take care of you. And then when I have downfalls and I have my moments where I'm out, you be there for me. Because there may be times where I might just be emotionally out of it. Let me vent to you. Let me talk to you. Don't judge me. Let me know right or wrong. Don't be my yes man. You know what? Chill out. You're doing too much. Calm down. Tone it down. Like, that's what I need. You have to be able to balance your companion out. And if you can't, it's not going to work.
I agree, and that's why I said that whatever, the ride or die, the ride part to me is the highs and the lows when everything is going good, and the die is when everything is going bad. And I think you can only get to that level when you're in a long-term serious relationship headed toward a goal, whether it's marriage or, I guess, most people, marriage is the end of the road as far as relationship goes, and then you take it from there. Some people, I'm not saying everybody.
Well, yeah, I would say, just to back off, everything I said was right. You got to balance each other out. And again, this is only for serious relationships. To expect a ride or die scenario.
Exactly.
When I think about a ride or die chick, for example, it's somebody that's serious. Somebody that whether you, as a man, your intention is to be the provider. To not that you're making all the money in the household, but a lot of the times, if you're a good man, it flows. Like, you'll help it to flow. You're not spending it on outside women. You're not going to the bars at night. You're not making dumbass purchases. You're building something. You're building something for the future.
Right.
So all I would expect somebody that, like, you're not judging each other. We're both knowing that this is our number one obligation, because if we're good, the children are good, the household's good, then our world is good. So a ride or die person would be like, I expect highly of myself, and they expect highly of themselves, and we have high expectations for our relationship, and we're not going outside of that. We're focused on the unit. That's it. That's all I was saying.
Let me cook crack in your house.
Oh my God.
I do want to just interject really quickly and say, even outside of from like a financial standpoint, I also want to say, from an emotional standpoint too, right? So I feel like men and women go through this, but I think it's more magnified with men, where you go through this phase where you have to figure out what kind of man you want to be in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a difficult phase for women to endure while you're figuring that out. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of guys I've heard the narrative most of the time is, oh, well, she was with me when I was doing her dirty, blah, blah. She stayed with me, yada, yada, yada. So I owe her everything. That's my ride or die. And I'm like, yo, like, if that's what she chose to do, then that's great. But don't make that seem like it's an expectation for women to have to sit there and be emotional punching bags because you ain't got your shit figured out yet. And so many good, big dick, big wallet men out here for me to sit here and take an emotional beating. Like, that's too much. That's what we cut this episode off. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's too much. Like, it's too much. Like, I feel like, dude, figure that shit out. Don't take me off the market and then put me on the shelf and do me dirty until you figure out what you trying to do, and then, let's be a happy family. Now that shit dead. Now you wondering why your girl mad at you every day because you done fucked her over 5 years, and now you trying to be great.
But at the same time, I'm gonna say, kid, I blame on both parties in that situation.
Accepting
because the girl shouldn't even be dealing with that in the first place.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Your worth.
Because exactly. Because I don't want.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Because I wouldn't if I was to do that to somebody, I wouldn't even expect you to stay with me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. You can leave. I'll be okay with that because I don't want no girl to go through that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? And like my definition of ride or die is basically the same as all y'all. Like everybody's basically making a point is like there's all different aspects of a ride or die chick and stuff like that. Ultimately, if y'all can work as a team, teamwork is key. Like you have to be a team. You guys got to go through everything, do everything. You know, I mean, you don't have to share like every interest and stuff like that. But if you are willing to do something that she wants to do, that's making a self-sacrifice, saying, "I don't really want to do this shit, but let me go ahead and I'll do it because she wants that." And at the same time, the women offers the same thing. If you want to do something, she should be able to give up her what she wants to do and stuff like that, and say, "Hey, let me go and do it." It's like both like equal
compromise. That's what
compromise.
Yes, I got
you know what I mean. Compromise.
That's what I was thinking.
I prefer the word cooperation, but that's just a mental thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I feel like you mean like compromise is you giving up something.
Yeah,
cooperation is you working together.
You said self-sacrifice, so that's when you get.
Well, either way, it's
saying
self-sacrifice.
Sorry. Like saying sorry, but yeah.
What's yours?
I ain't got the time.
TT?
I ain't got the
Sum
time.
it up.
We don't. Like, shit.
Who was TT?
Yeah.
It's my lady.
No, but she's like TT. Something like TT.
I ain't got the time.
Are we wrapping up right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say one thing.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Everybody suck their teeth like.
I ain't suck my teeth. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
This nigga's uncle. Shit.
I'm gonna give 30 seconds to the fact that Trump is gonna be put up on RICO charges soon. I'm joking.
Oh yeah, we ain't
Michael Flynn, Michael
Cohen
getting done. But shout outs to Mark Lamont Hill for his stand up approach to the Palestinian movement and how they're being massacred and genocide being committed against them. And no one wants to speak against Israel, but they're doing something that the South African government wishes they could have even accomplished. And they're being bombed, they're being shot. The worst case that I've seen in a while with them, which there are many, was a female medic was going to help a person that was shot by Israeli forces, and she was then shot trying to go help him, and she waved her arms. Well, they were waving at him, they still shot her and her people that she was with, and a female reporter. So it's not talked about on the news, but it's one of the most humanitarian catastrophes other than Yemen, which Saudi Arabia and America is involved with. But it's a horrible thing, and people don't speak up about it. As Dr. King said, an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. So Mark Lamont Hill, very brave, lost his job at CNN over it, but he did his thing. I respect that.
All right. What's up? So, anybody has anything else?
Well, we can go to the frat boy thing, but that'd take a whole nother.
We'll see if
It's time to
I'm trying to wrap it up.
More ways than one.
I just want to shout out my nephew, his little cream team. They're trying to get their t-shirts out, everything.
They're looking for some cream pie girls.
Okay.
Whatever.
Get it.
They already got the little t-shirts selling. I got one on right now.
And it's quality, y'all. That's like
it
that's
actually does look nice, yeah.
We good out here, man.
That's nice
I'm gonna try to get them on the podcast to promote, and we're gonna run.
Where are you ready?
And we're gonna get the Unfamous t-shirts out soon.
Actually, I'm in the works with all that too.
Let's go.
Because I'm about to just go ahead and cut the middleman out and get the printer and the press and all that shit.
The Coke and then
Get
it all pressed.
Oh, at one point, on our first episode.
How much is that?
I gotta see how much the printer is, but the press itself and all that is like $170 something.
So are we going in on that?
No, that's
say that for a meeting after the show.
No.
Okay,
This personal phone.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't have anything else, man.
I saw that phone call.
You can just allow me.
Whatever. Just your boy, Sean, Mr. NJ Brick City.
Ja from Up in the Sky.
Kia.
I thought. Okay.
Joe Cool.
All right.
Sure. First 48, Annie Hardaway.
Unreal fiction.
Alright, and this is the Unfamous Podcast.
Bye, guys.
Alright, peace.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
That was a good one.